IUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, final location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
The girls' high school basketball season down to its final game tonight during the regular season for the Trojans and the Braves. Welcome again to Chatard High School. Bishop Chatard coming into this one at 8-12 on the season. They'll be hosting the Braves of Brebeuf. They enter this contest at 12-7. Tonight's game brought to you in part by IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences. Begin your journey today. The Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and the community since 1955. Troy Dargowski, Coach Al Weems with you tonight. It's the final regular season game for these two teams. The tournament gets underway next week, and by the way, they could meet in the tournament as well. And Coach, many years you've coached. You're down to your final game of the regular season. Your thoughts, I'm sure, in a lot of ways. We're looking toward next week, but you want to take care of business tonight as well.
As a coach, you would love to see your team on a roll going into the sectional week. It's an intense week, and if you're playing well going in, it sure makes it a lot easier. Yeah,
no doubt about it. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. There are, with the tournament draw the way it is set up, a lot of teams will not play. They get that first round bye. They play probably on Friday. Were you ever a coach that said, I'd like to play on Tuesday, keep things rolling game-wise, maybe a little more routine, or did you want a little more time off to get ready for the tournament?
Depends on how good we were.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. When, in our really good years, we didn't really care who we played and when we played. We just did. But in the years that I had to worry about who we were going to play, Friday night first game would not have been a bad idea.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, let's talk about this Braves basketball team. We had a chance to do their game up in Noblesville when they took on Garin just maybe a little over a week ago, and they just really struggled that night scoring. They lost to Garin 41-39. Don't let that fool you again. They're 12-7 coming in. They've got some really talented players. Talk about what you see in Brebeuf.
Well, I think Brebeuf, like you said, they've got a good record. They play a solid 3A schedule, and so that 12-7 record is real.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be misleading based on what your schedule does look like, but in this case, Brebeuf plays a solid schedule. They're a good basketball team. You don't get to 12-7, 13-7 unless you are. So I fully expect that tonight we're going to see a good basketball game played by them.
And by the way, they've won 8 of 9. Again, they don't score a lot of points. They're at 48.2, but defensively, they're holding their opponents under 42 points per game, and we know what defense does. They always talk about defense winning championships.
I'll tell you, when you hold teams to the low 40s, you have a good chance of winning most games.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Keep an eye on Ella Millard, only a sophomore. The game we did against Garin, she scored 17 points, had 4 3-pointers in that contest, and she's probably one we'll watch a lot here tonight as well.
Well, she is their second leading scorer for the season. Yeah. And so she has the capabilities of going off and being their leading scorer any particular night. So, I think that she's going to be solid. Audra Kendall's another young lady who tends to score. Big number 12, if you watch her, you'll see the number 12. She'll be very solid.
And she's only a freshman, by the way.
She's got a really good future ahead of her.
Yeah, Savannah Schaefer is another one to watch. She's a 6.3 point scorer and also at 7.5 rebounds. And Maeve Perry is at 6.9 and 7.4 rebounds. So those would be the two probably bigger rebounding players here tonight, which could be a real key as well.
Well, interestingly enough, 4 of the 5 leading scorers are underclassmen.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a real solid future when it comes to what it looks like. They've got 3 seniors on the team, and one of them stats, and the other rest of the stat people happen to be young.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the Trojans. They have lost their last 4. They're hoping to get a win tonight, get some momentum going into the tournament, and we'll talk about what the tournament looks like in the opening round of sectional play coming up in a few moments. This is high school basketball right here on IndianaSRN.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Hey, just a reminder, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the expressed written permission of the IHSAA and IndianaSRN is prohibited. All right, Bishop Chatard. Talk a little bit about what you see in them. They're 8-12. They have lost their last 4 games. Another team that's pretty even in the scoring and the amount of points they give up. What do you expect from the Trojans tonight?
Well, the teams they've lost to are really good teams. So Coach Wagner, I'm sure, is not real happy anyway. But at least if you look at losing, at least you want to look at losing to somebody who's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. They're averaging 49, giving up 51. So my guess is that if they can hold somebody into the 40s, they have a real good chance of winning a basketball game. They're very physical. Okay. We've had the opportunity to play them a few times when I was at Greenwood Christian, and I'll tell you that they beat us up pretty good. Legally. Legally.
Talk about some of their personnel and who will we look for tonight?
Carolyn Bell averages 11.5 points a game and almost 6 rebounds. Very, very solid. Anna Caskey, 9.6 points a game. Again, very solid. So, you can look at those two, and then Anna Thompson, 8.4. So they're very balanced in scoring. So, it's not going to be easy to, look at one kid and say we need to shut her down because we've got other kids that can pick it up.
Very true. Now, next week, tournament play begins, and then it's about a 4-week trial to get yourself to the state championship.
Mm-hmm.
The girls sectional for these two teams will be held at Brebeuf.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesday, Heron will take on Heritage Christian. Garin Catholic will take on Chatard. Now, if Chatard beats Garin, they could play Brebeuf in the next round. So that's how that all, and by the way, Shortridge is also another team in there. So if you have a game like tonight and you're Bishop Chatard and you want to send a message that we plan on playing you again, how big is this tonight to perhaps get a win?
Well, the team that gets the win should have some kind of a psychological advantage. Of course, we are talking about teenagers.
You're right.
And so I'm not sure what that really means. However, I will say that every team wants to exert some kind of dominance against who they're playing.
Right.
And in a state tournament setting, what you'd like to do is plant a seed of doubt in the other team. Can we really play with them?
Yeah.
That's what you'd like to get to. Now, for some teams who are just, unbelievably talented, you may not care about that as much.
Right.
All right. Yeah. But for teams that are evenly matched, it becomes real important.
It certainly does. You're getting a look at the Trojans right there. Their last win came back on January the 10th. They ended up beating Tech that night. But the one thing that you'll notice about the Trojans, they've got to find a way to cut down on the turnovers. They're averaging nearly 18 turnovers per game, and if you're going to play a really good schedule, you've got to hold on to the basketball.
Well, you realize that if you're hitting 40% from the field, and let's say you cut your turnovers by 5 down to 13, in theory, that's 2 more baskets.
Yeah.
2 more baskets, 4 points, 5 points. That increases your average a great deal.
Yeah.
Gives you a much better opportunity to win a ball game.
Trojans don't shoot the ball extremely well. They're only at 36% overall and only 24% from three-point range. So if I'm Brebeuf, I don't know how much zone they like to play, but I might zone a little bit tonight, see if you can force them to just shoot the three.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do come up with, because the other piece of it would be if they think that they're quicker than Chatard, then they'll come out and man them, as an example. So it'll be interesting to see what they do come out in.
All right, we'll come back. Starters, the tip-off coming up next right here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back once again here at Bishop Chatard as we wind down the national anthem. It's time for the starters. Chatard coming in at 8 and 12. Brebeuf at 12 and 7. Let's go to our public address announcer for tonight's starting lineups.
For tonight's girls varsity matchup, first for the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves. Number 5, Ella Miller. Number 12, Audra Kendall. 23, Savannah Schaefer. 33, Kaylee Singleton. And 34, May Perry. The head coach of the Braves is Aaron Miller. All right, Jersey fans, it's time to get up, get on your feet, and make some noise for your Bishop Chatard program. Starting at guard, a 5'7" junior, number 2, Addie Duncan. At guard, a 5'9" senior, 24, Anna Hampton. At one forward, a 5'10" senior, 35, Anna Jennings. At forward, a 5'9" senior, 15, Grace Phelps. And at the final forward position, a 5'9".
Kendall picks up the foul. That'll be her first, as we'll see Bell go to the line, averaging just over 11 points per game. And she will hit one of her first 2. And we're tied at 3 here early on.
I remember playing against her last year. She was real solid against us. Hits the boards real well.
Bell's second free throw is good.
Oh, we got a little diamond press here.
And a turnover and a block shot underneath. So it will be Chatard basketball. Off the drive, that'll be Thompson. Left it short, rebound by Perry. Brebeuf.
A tough shot there, without a doubt.
So now Brebeuf looking to take the lead here in period 1. That is Singleton with the basketball to Schaefer. Now you see Chatard drop back in a little 2-3 zone as well. Here's a 3 on the way. It is no good.
Wow.
Rebound put back no by Perry, and Perry gets another opportunity and will go to the line for 2.
I'll tell you, you can try to block her out, but she's got such length that I'm not even sure blocking out is going to help that much. Good job of hitting the boards by her.
Yeah, averaging at 7.4 rebounds per game, and she'll go to the line. Good
Nice
touch
shot.
for the left-hander.
Good touch for a center.
Yeah. That'll be Johnson coming in, number 23 there for the Trojans. Averaging at 5.9 points per game. Second free throw, a little
Short.
flat that time. So here is Duncan across the timeline. Thompson, the kick back to Duncan once again. Brebeuf will be in a man-to-man. Drive shot will be missed. We'll head the other way.
You go directly at Perry, and it's going to alter your shot a great deal.
Brebeuf trying to win their 13th game of the year as they get ready for the tournament next week. Here's a 3 on the way, and
really,
can't get the roll.
Really good block out.
That's Miller. We talked about the game she had against Guerin.
Wow.
Hey, a strong drive, but a missed shot that time by Johnson.
She saw the hole and she took it real aggressive, and that's got to be a travel.
Yep. Turnover there for the Braves. Good crowd on hand. As you get a good look now at Bell with a basketball. Duncan will work in the backcourt as well. And we've got a turnover at midcourt. So the ball go back over again to the Braves. Both teams are under the 50-point mark offensively, so I don't think we're going to see a ton of points here tonight because both teams, again, also play pretty good defense.
It looks like they're almost boxing wanting Schaefer.
This is Kendall. Baseline drive, basket good.
It's a nice finish over the top.
Kendall averaging 10 points per game. Now Brebeuf leads it by 2, and here's a little soft press put together by Brebeuf.
Yeah, a little 22 press.
Bell able to get it to her teammate for the 3 on the right side. No good. But an offensive rebound here for the Trojans.
Another 3.
This time another miss. They don't shoot well from the outside. As we mentioned, at only 24%.
That is a percentage that would indicate 1 out of 4. So it will be interesting to see. But, you can't shackle them. You've got to let them play their game.
So now Brebeuf will try to build on a 2-point lead. Thompson guarding out front. Good look here at 23 Schaefer. Here's a shot on the way. Another 3 missed, and the long rebound for Johnson. Here come the Trojans as they try to either tie or take the lead.
Chatard is not making it easy on Brebeuf to get a good shot off, and then Brebeuf came out and put a little pressure on Chatard there. So they may be figuring that defense is going to win this.
That's Pate, by the way. Robin Pate, just a freshman averaging 7.7 points per game, gets the foul, and Bell steps on the end line. 3rd turnover now for the Trojans.
A nice job defensively by Brebeuf there.
So we have now gone under the 3-minute mark here in this opening quarter. If the averages are holding out, Coach, we're not going to get to 50.
And which means it may not be very easy to see who wins.
That's right.
First one to 50. Nice drive.
Yeah,
and
Miller
nice
with the left hand.
Great finish. We kid about that, but you can't deny the defenses are playing good basketball right now.
This is Thompson. Keep an eye on Bell, the entry pass, and a reaching foul called against Brebeuf. And looks like they got number 5, which is Miller.
That was a nice look. Unfortunately, when you're, 25 feet away, it gives the defense a chance to react.
Yeah.
However, she'd been 10 feet closer. That's probably a layup.
So now Chatard basketball down by 4. Here's a 3 on the way. That's off the mark. Looked like that was Johnson with the 3 attempt. Here's Miller back the other way. Nothing
nice
but
shot.
net.
Well, and you indicated that you saw them play last week, and she hit several 3s, right?
Yeah, had 4 of them. We've got a timeout on the floor as the Trojans have seen the lead go to 7.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Industrial Sales Associates. They've been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Eastern Tennessee. They say good luck to all the teams during this entire sports season. If you need more information, give them a call at 317-546-1900. And a good timeout there for Chatard as things are starting to get away from them a little bit here in the opening quarter.
You look up and all of a sudden you've given up 11 points.
Yeah.
And it's Brebeuf's knocked down a couple of shots where Chatard is having trouble making any connection. So it doesn't take long to get down when you're not hitting.
So after the timeout, you see Brebeuf, they're going to press a little bit again. They've got Robin Pate on the top of that zone trap you see right here.
Okay, so they're going to jump her reasonably high.
Ball barely got across the timeline, and they turned it over. Chatard, the fourth turnover. Pate down in numbers, lost the basketball, but will stay right here.
I don't think she realized that she had a couple of Chatard kids around her.
Yeah. I think it was 3 white jerseys might have been the key there. So now it'll be... Shot on the way, off the glass, and good by Bell. As we are under 1:30 to go here in this opening period of play. Kind of the game we've expected so far, right?
Right. It's going to be on pace for, 45 to 50 points, and that's exactly what we thought would be. Brebeuf's doing a decent job. Now Chatard's going to man, it looks like.
That'll be another turnover there by the Braves as Chatard running the floor. Shot missed by Duncan, so they're one and done.
No angle at all there. Oh,
Here's
nice pass.
Layup good.
Really nice pass.
And she does run the floor well.
She does.
Here's Bell.
Travel.
And, took that extra step. 2 officials saw it. That's now 5 turnovers on Chatard. And we talked about that. They are averaging nearly 18 turnovers a game.
It is so difficult to win against a quality opponent when you turn it over that much.
Yeah, you think about, you made a good point in the pregame, and you give another team that many extra possessions, they don't have to score a ton of points off them. When they do, you're in trouble.
Exactly.
This is really wide open there in the middle on this zone.
I think they're maybe back to playing man. Or maybe not.
Got a foul call. That'll go against Johnson. That'll be her first. Here is Sydney Shaw in the ball game, a junior, averaging just under 2 per game. Seven-point lead again with just over 25 seconds remaining. Trying to get it underneath there to Anderson. Drive and a block shot.
Really nice block.
That was Johnson again, and then the ball loose. Picked up by Shaw, who entered the ball game, and we got a foul way out front. Anderson.
I like the aggression from a coach's.
So far away from the basket.
I think from a coach's standpoint, you prefer not to foul out there.
Yeah. Not a whole lot gained right there, is there?
No, not much at all.
Here's Tregesser in the ball game now for Chatard.
Double
1
dribble.
second, and double dribble. That is now 6 turnovers.
Well, they're on their way to being above their yearly average.
So they'll have time just to inbound. You can't get much here unless you threw it right at the rim. And that's going to do it for the opening period of play. Brebeuf leads it by 7.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower. So I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Hey, tonight's game brought to you in part by Aspen Creek Grill. If you feel like treating someone special to a delicious meal, why not try Aspen Creek Grill? And next time you're in, maybe buy dinner, get some gift cards to share with your friends. Aspen Creek Grill has great food. Make sure you try their powwow shrimp. Aspen Creek Grill, located in Noblesville. I think maybe the biggest thing we see so far, Coach, is that, again, the Trojans are going to have to find a way to get some offense going. But if they don't hold on to the basketball tonight, 6 turnovers, you're talking about 24 by the end of the night. That's not going to win you many games. So they got to find a way to hold on to the ball.
Absolutely, and they'd like to get some easy shots, too. One of the things early in the game, Chatard was pressing, and they got a couple of plays out of that.
Yeah.
So I probably would think they would want to go back to that at some point in time.
Well, it will be Brebeuf basketball to open up this second quarter. Final game of the regular season. Tournament play next week. There's a tip and a steal by Bell.
Nice play by Bell.
Third turnover now by
nice screen.
the Braves. By the way, Chatard is in the bonus. There's a nice basket by Bell.
Bell had a nice finish there, going through several arms.
So the deficit at 5 now for Bishop Chatard. We mentioned there's a really good crowd on hand. She got away with a double dribble on that one. That was Robin Pate.
The official might say that was a bobble, but that looked like a double dribble.
Or you could be like me when I just say I was looking over there. And then the coach will say, why weren't you looking over there? I don't know, my eyes just went that way.
I really appreciated those officials that came up to me and said, Alan, I missed it.
Yeah, sorry, just missed it. There's not much of a response you can get out of that one, right?
No, I usually just said thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Here's a shot on the way. 3-pointer no good by Miller.
Whoa, I don't know how she stayed in bounds, but she did. Nice footwork. She was obviously in dance at a young age.
Johnson, as you see with the basketball, is the one that was able to stay in bounds.
Oh,
shot on the way, good.
That was a really nice finish.
Berzai, only a freshman. And it's a 3-point game.
It is. And again, they're Chatard's in a man, so they're not giving up any easy shots per se. Good step over. Now,
there you go. That'll be Miller again.
You want your kids in help, but they've got to be able to recover to their man, and that's an awful long pass to make.
Yeah, you skipped a teammate right to your right.
Yeah, went right over the top, and obviously it doesn't take anybody that's any kind of an athlete long to figure that out. So.
Yeah. Anna Thompson back in the ballgame now for the Trojans. Duncan thought about the 3, tried to feed it inside, knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Trojans. It is hard to believe that we are, again, thinking tournament time next week. We got a foul and one.
It was a really nice finish.
Just a freshman, too, by the way.
She's going to be a really good player, and I think that this is kind of a rebuilding year for them anyway, so it's a great year to get these young kids playing time.
Berzai, chance to get 5 points now here in the quarter and make it a 3-point game.
Nice. That was really soft going up there.
So just like that, Chatard right back in it.
They have just played consistent basketball this quarter and has put them right back in the game.
Singleton is back in, as you see, for Brebeuf. Here's a 3 straight away and another one by Miller.
Really nice shot. And that was with a hand in her face.
Unofficially 11 already for Miller. And quickly back the other way as Berzai can't get it to go. Another offensive rebound. Thompson will go to the line. Take that back. That's going to be Johnson.
really nice rebound and put back.
So here is Johnson at the line, averaging at 5.9 points per game. And we've seen a whole lot of fouls called already here in the first half.
We may find out who's got the deeper bench.
Yeah, you might, yep.
That was a nice soft shot that she put up there.
Next free throw is on the way. Got good touch on that one as well. Trojans, when they played Guerin, they really defensively, that's what kept them in that game. They didn't score a ton, but their defense is very good. You see Gesser get the foul.
Well, and I think you can see it's starting to even out as this quarter has gone on, where it's beginning to look like both teams hit their offensive and defensive averages.
Yeah.
So they're going to be somewhere in that 40, 45-point range, somewhere in that area.
There'll be a timeout on the floor called by Brebeuf. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by RefReps. It's designed in partnership with numerous state high school associations, helping officials to hone their skills and promote unity in the officiating world. RefReps is for the new official as well as the seasoned veteran. If you need more information, contact them at refreps.com. And I want to remind you, when we are done here tonight, I always leave it up to our color analyst to name the Piper Logistics player of the game. That way you get the hate email. I don't, see.
Well, as a coach for so many years, I've gotten a lot of that. So it's okay.
Doesn't bother you, does it?
Doesn't bother me. I taught for 35 years at the high school level. I mean, you know.
Yeah, what's a couple more emails,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Brebeuf with the basketball. You get a good look there at Savannah Schaefer. See the 8 fouls on Brebeuf already, so we could see a lot of free throws shooting in the remainder of the second quarter, as that 3 missed by Miller.
That was a really nice rebound, only because of how high she got up.
Yeah, one-handed it too.
Exactly.
This is Bell. Duncan had the cutter.
Nice back cut. Oh, and she missed her.
She missed a cut that way and a cut this way. Thompson off to Johnson.
Moving screen.
Yep. They got Bell on the foul. And that'll be the 7th turnover now on the Trojans.
You know, sometimes that is on the ball handler.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't take her player close enough to the screener decides to move it, so it's not always on the screener.
I find more often than not that's exactly what happens. You're supposed to go shoulder to shoulder and they go way out because you can't count on the bigs to stand there, you know.
No. That's exactly right. There we go.
Maybe I should just take my headphones off every time you take them. Ball goes out of bounds as we're coming up on the halfway mark here in period number 2, a 4-point lead. Trojans hanging in there on their final game. Here's a baseline shot, and it's short by Duncan.
Nice rebound.
Herzai gets the rebound again. It's Bell missing.
Wow. That was a tough shot to put up there.
Drive down the lane by Kendall, and they're going to call a foul before the steal.
It was just somebody reaching to the basketball as it was going through the lane. I can guarantee you that Coach Wagner much rather have them move their feet.
Yeah. That's going to be the 6th team foul now on Chatard. So one more, both teams will be shooting the bonus. Pate. Drive, shot, left hand, no by Schaefer.
Did a good job of using her body to shield the defender.
Foul's going to be on Bell again. 2 quick ones on Bell.
And it didn't take Coach Wagner long to get somebody to the scorer's bench.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned a little bit ago, we're going to find out how deep these benches are if they keep fouling the way they are.
Yeah, I'm going to make a statement here.
Okay.
As coaches, you sometimes wanted to know who the officiating staff was going to be that night.
Yeah.
Because you would kind of get a feel for how the game was going to be called. Because there are officials that have reputations of having a really close whistle, and those that don't necessarily have a real close whistle. And everybody's idea of a foul can differ.
So back to a 5-point lead. So Gesser stays in the ball game now for Bishop Chatard. She'll run the point. Bell again with those 2 fouls, so he'll have to be careful with her for the remainder of this first half.
And Brebeuf's playing a solid man here.
Ball goes out of bounds. Pate the last to touch it.
It's a good athletic defensive play there because she was trailing and timed the ball just right.
We will have the boys game in about 30 minutes after the conclusion of the girls contest here tonight on IndianaSRN.
Look how wide that lane is open.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tough shot there by Berzai.
Not scared to put it up.
Pate has her shot blocked.
Really nice timing on that block.
Take that back. That's going to be Anderson. Berzai misses another one, and boy, the freshman not afraid to shoot it just about anywhere.
I tell you what, one of the things I like about freshmen, they're typically not scared of much.
Yeah. They don't know any different, right?
No, they don't know any different.
Yeah. So you like that saying, the best thing about a freshman is they become a sophomore, right?
I actually believe in that.
Berzai a little up and under, but missed the shot. And Chatard able to get it back again. Drive left hand, no, as Thompson back to the free throw line. That'll be an Anderson.
Well, if I'm counting right, we got 15 fouls between the two teams.
It kind of reminds me a couple of
16.
games we've. Oh, there you go. Kind of reminds me a couple of games we've had this year where, I mean, we've had 50 fouls in a game.
Unbelievable.
Perry back in. That is the 10th team foul again on Brebeuf. Oh, the next one will be the 10th, excuse me. Thompson able to hit them both.
Well, that can be something that really helps Chatard stay in the game until they start hitting some shots, because they're really struggling from the field right now.
Yeah, it has been the free throw that has kept them in the ball game.
The kids can shoot free throws. Perry is just, nice. And she's going to count it.
Got a little continuation there.
Yeah.
Berzai picks up the foul.
I mean, you could see that he was going to count that immediately, and it was a really nice move. I mean, she's really difficult to deal with.
The senior averaging just under 7 points per game missed the free throw. They have missed 3 tonight. Meanwhile, Bishop Chatard hasn't missed.
Nice job from the line then.
Berzai for 3, no. Struggles from the outside, continues, and then the turnover there by Duncan.
See, those are the ones that drive coaches crazy.
Yes.
Because there's no reason.
Yeah.
Just a pass to the player instead of 5 feet away from him. And seriously, those are the ones that drive coaches crazy.
Yeah, just sit there and shake your head, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's pitch and catch.
Yeah. Berzai got the block there. Well, and that's a lot of times, Coach, the difference between the really good teams and the teams that really aren't very good.
When you average 18 a game, nice drive, there are going to be some of those 18 are going to be just like what we just saw.
Berzai gets stopped off the dribble. Mason intending the pass there for Feltz, and it goes out of bounds. So you wanted to see that's what you're not supposed to do.
Well, I can tell you right now, Coach Wagner is probably rubbing his forehead right now.
9 unofficial turnovers now by the Trojans.
See, that's their average. So that's your minute 28 from half. There's another foul.
Yeah, foul away from the basketball.
Okay, so that should be team foul number 9 for Chatard, I believe.
Feltz picks up her first, and both teams with 9.
Last week I did a game. The game was done in an hour.
Really?
Yeah. This one will not be.
Yeah, don't count on it.
No. There's been a lot of stoppages, and both now are in double bonus.
That's going to put Perry at the line. Well, unless we have a really, really fast second half.
Which could happen.
It could.
Not likely, but it could. Now, when you get into these two teams, they're pretty equally matched here. And which means then it's going to be a little bit more physical, and they do. Both teams play a brand of physical basketball. The officials probably know that coming in.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have a whistle that's going to maybe be a little bit quicker.
Second one missed. That's in fact, third time now that Perry has missed a free throw. Ball loose in the backcourt. Thompson's going to get fouled.
The one thing we haven't mentioned, these two teams are in the same sectional.
Yeah.
And rivals. I mean, so the game's a little bit more intense from that perspective as well.
Yep. So here's Thompson at the line. Again, both teams are in the double bonus.
Chatard's free throw shooting has really kept them in this game. And again, as long as they keep doing that, then until their shooting starts to catch up.
Yeah. They've hit 8 free throws.
Nice.
So far tonight.
8 free throws, 5 baskets.
Yep, exactly. Pate with a rebound off the first miss. Here's a 3 back the other way, short by Miller. Pate able to hustle in and get the rebound. Another chance here for Miller. Launches and misses that one. Rebound by Anderson.
Nice job moving the basketball.
Just a little one. We've decided we're only called the big ones. Drive by Pate.
I think that if they were to move their feet and keep the ball from penetrating, there'd be a whole lot less fouls.
Yeah.
And right now they're just trailing off the dribble.
Here's Pate at the line. First time she's been to the free throw line here tonight. And they continue to struggle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. They've missed 5 at the line.
Yeah, that's not hit 57% for the year. So
yeah, not spectacular at all.
Right.
Second one is
going to be off Chatard.
Verzai didn't like that call.
No. You could hear her, see her say she was over my back.
So Brebeuf will keep it with 38 seconds remaining. Boy, they got to get on to Miller. She was ready to launch it again.
She's really not scared to shoot. I really like that in her.
Let's see if they're going to play for one right here. Trying to go into the locker room with the lead. Yeah. Missed the shot, though. I'm not sure that Miller really had a good look.
Oh, nice
quickly
pass.
The other way and missed the layup is Thompson.
That's a great pass.
So now with 7, here is McNair for 3. Shot the air ball. It was Perry who saved it, and that's going to do it for period number 2. Brebeuf with a 5-point lead, but at times It didn't look pretty, did it?
No. And if Chatard can find a way to cut turnovers in the second half, and if they keep getting to the line, I mean, they've hit a really good percentage from the line. On the other hand, Brebeuf has shown no fear. They're going to keep putting up the 3.
Yeah.
And, those percentages don't typically work out real well.
Yeah.
And they've missed quite a few free throws.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brebeuf has had a good first half, and I don't think they've turned the ball over like Chatard. They've just had a few more shots probably because they haven't turned it over.
3 times unofficially so far.
That's really good.
9 times
Yeah.
again for the Trojans. We'll come back and second half action right around the corner right here on Indiana SRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis.
317-925-8200. As always, follow the top high school and college players in the state of Indiana. And as always, want to thank Kip Western, Hoosier Basketball Magazine, for their support of Indiana SRN. Coach Weems, we didn't see the best basketball by either one of these two teams in the first half. We kind of know Chatard didn't shoot well, but the free throws kept him in the ball game. Now they got to find a way to get over the hump and make this game in the second half.
Well, I think it's going to start with...
I'm down again. Wait, I'll take my headsets off.
Oh, I didn't work that time.
The building is having its problems tonight.
Well, here's the other thing it does for you, and you know as well as anybody, you just start clicking it off because I'm not sitting around watching it now. Thing is, I don't understand, is aren't we hardwired in here?
We are. That's why I keep resetting the
Oh,
switch.
all right.
Because it keeps dropping. I don't know what's going on.
It's probably the Chinese. They're coming to get us. First thing they're going to do is get Indiana SRN.
Well, that would be on their radar, I'm sure.
It would be, yeah. You guys want to hold it down in there? Yeah. We're focused on a big game here. Oh, Zingo.
Okay, so you just reset. Because I don't have this. Okay. What?
I hear it. No, maybe not.
Okay, yeah, I don't have anything yet either. That's pretty okay. Coming back.
No, you're not.
No, you were.
Well, he's going to, so much for the book. You know, the nice thing about it is we still get paid. No matter what happens.
Because I don't have either encoder connected right now.
Yeah, unless Chatard doesn't pay.
Yeah. Well, we've gone through this before, and we always get paid no matter what. 25-21, down to a 4-point ball game as that shot's missed with the left hand by Schaefer. Brebeuf only 2 points in this quarter. Here's a three from the corner by Duncan.
Boy, if they can start hitting a few of those, then that's going to make a huge difference in this game.
That is their first three-pointer made.
Turnover.
There's a turnover. So it took them a while to get to a three, but they finally got one.
And you know what? Maybe that just opens the lid completely.
Basket is good by Johnson, and she'll go to the line. Well, this thing turned really fast.
Really did. Well, I just noticed that is a really good student section over there for Chatard.
Isn't it?
Yeah, love it.
They are out in force on this final night of the regular season. Free throws on the way and good. And their free throws, they've been big tonight.
You know, it's interesting. Really good free throw shooting teams tend to win the majority of their games.
So you see the Trojans now lead at 27-25. Brebeuf will get it to Miller. Short pull-up jumper, no.
Nice block out and a good rebound.
Well, this thing again changed very fast here in the third quarter.
It was a really good cut and a good decision then.
Johnson got cut off on the baseline.
3 seconds.
Oh my. That's only the fourth 3-second call I've seen all year.
Well, you know, you just don't see him that much anymore.
No.
In this case, I think she got caught in between two Brebeuf players and couldn't get out.
That shouldn't count, should it? Drive, and the shot missed by Singleton. And Brebeuf has gone cold here in the third. This looks a lot like that Guerin game. They had 17 in the opening quarter, only 5 in the second, 8 in the third, and 9 in the fourth.
That's right. And, you know, nice. I'll tell you, Chatard is moving with a purpose right now and passing with a purpose.
Yeah.
There's a lot more zip in their step, so to speak.
They've now outscored Brebeuf 11-2 in the quarter. And
nice
another
block.
miss.
Yeah, and somebody got a hand on it and got the rebound now. They're moving the basketball. See, I mean, they're just moving with a purpose right now.
It is amazing in this game of basketball how you finish a half or how you start a half. And we've seen a bank shot good by Thompson for 3.
You know, that should be worth 4. If you can bank one in from 22 feet straight away, that's a 4-point shot.
Wow. And Brebeuf, they want to talk about it, so they'll get a 30-second timeout. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Tam Sweet and Savory Cafe. It's a new spot for breakfast or lunch. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. Always try that classic breakfast. They also have sweet baked goods, and they're located in Lawrence. Coach always recommends the Sloppy Joes with extra pickles as a great lunch. Sean doesn't like the mayonnaise once we switched it. Check out Tam's at 6427 Oaklandon Road. If you need carryout information, give them a call at 317-760-1640. This has been as big of a turnaround as you're going to see the way Chatard has played in this third.
You know, that classic tale of two halves?
Yeah.
Now, this half is only 4 minutes in, but 14-2, Chatard is pretty well a game turner.
Yeah, it really is. So it will be Brebeuf basketball. They have gone cold again in the third. They've had only 2 points in this quarter. See what they set up here. Turnover. Back the other way. Turn
Nice.
and shooting and hitting it is Johnson.
And Chatard is hitting at a pretty good clip right now. That was a nice turnaround shot.
So the Trojans continue to put it on Brebeuf here in the quarter. Miller may have gotten away with a double dribble, missed the shot, and coming away with the ball is Bell. Here come the Trojans again in the lane. Another one by Johnson. They're hitting everything.
I've been in that position on the other side, and I'll tell you, as a coach, you're just helpless.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do anything. I mean, they're just, right now they're hitting, and nothing's going right for you.
And you can't keep calling a timeout. Shot's going to be blocked as Bell got a piece of Pate's shot. And we got a foul at midcourt.
You know, that is one of those where officials don't have a choice.
Yeah. A little hard not to call that one.
Pretty hard.
Foul's going to go against McNair.
And the other thing Chatard's doing, they're making good decisions with their passing.
I'm not sure which team was in the first half, because this is not the same team, Coach.
Well, I think I recognize most of the faces, but they're sure playing differently.
They got McAllister for the foul. He's in the ball game now for Bishop Chatard. Good crowd here. They're going to see, of course, the finish of this one and then the boys' game in about 30 minutes after.
Oh.
There's a basket by Pate and a foul.
You know, that's just the classic keep your man in front of you, and they don't get that easy layup. And then you don't pick up a foul because you're coming from the side.
Johnson has the hot hand on offense, just picked up her fourth. So now Robin Pate at the line, and boy, did Brebeuf need some points right here.
Really, I mean, a couple more baskets, and it might have put them out of the ball game.
So to get the free throw, still only 5 scored as you see the trap again.
They're trying to see if they can change the momentum a little bit.
Well, if you're going to do that, you better get back, but you miss a layup at the other end.
What's the call?
So they might have given the points to the wrong team.
So what do we got going here?
That's a really good question, Coach. I'm not sure. Usually you can go ahead and correct that at the next dead ball.
Exactly.
You worry about it now.
You wouldn't stop the game to do it.
Yeah. So I know the fans could be yelling about it. Coaches could be talking about it too, but you really will. They just say, we'll take care of it.
Sure.
Next
Absolutely.
time we get a chance. Here's a shot in the corner. The three, no good by Thompson. Boy, that was saved from going out of bounds. We got a jump ball.
Good footwork again.
The only thing that would have made me upset about that, I'm sure you would you too, if I'm Bishop Chatard and I'm driving and you call a timeout right there, what if I made the basket?
That's a lot of yelling. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why they would stop the clock to do that, but hey, didn't hurt anything, but
let's put it this way, you don't want to do that very often.
No.
Ball goes out of bounds. That'll be a turnover for Brebeuf.
You know, and just as Chatard's turned it around, Brebeuf's kind of the same. They're just not playing with the same zip that they played in the first half.
Yeah, they are really struggling, and there's a turnover.
All they had to do is have me make a statement like that.
That's right. Pate with the offensive rebound, put back off the miss from Schaefer. So all of a sudden, the gap down to 7. I think this defense is bothering now Chatard a little bit more.
Anytime that you can pick them up higher and stall them a little bit, it makes all the difference in the world. And that's what they're doing. They're picking them up from about 25 to 30 feet.
Bell missed
and not getting back.
Yeah. Offensive rebound by Perry off the missed shot by Kendall, and we'll go to the line again. That's going to be on Bell.
Now, I think, if I remember, Perry has struggled from the line a little bit.
36-30 is actually the score. They've corrected it on the scoreboard one more time. And, yeah, you're right, Perry, she has struggled only shooting 50% from the line tonight, now below 50.
Probably if she were able to maybe get a little bit higher trajectory, maybe a little bit higher release point, it makes all the difference. Because she's a little bit flat on her shot right now.
Berzai will be back in now for Bishop Chatard. Perry here for number 2.
Better.
Berzai with the rebound, puts it on the floor, goes out of bounds off of Brebeuf.
Now that was a freshman play. She immediately, she got the rebound, put the ball on the ground, started dribbling.
Yeah.
And of course she's right around Brebeuf players.
Looks looks like we've got a 30-second timeout called here by the Trojans. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Pat Cherry Insurance Agency. We suggest you contact his team for all your insurance needs, family, car, business, or home. They're an insurance company to serve you. Contact them at 317-894-7000. And don't forget, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for private use of our audience. Use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association is prohibited. So the Trojans have come down to earth a little bit now. So things are starting to tighten up a little bit. Brebeuf starting to make
some plays,
ground up as well. So all of a sudden now it's back to a 6-point game.
Well, now it comes down to, for the last 10 minutes of the game, who's going to play the most solid basketball.
Yeah. Good look here at Tregesser.
So Brebeuf's tightened their defense up a little bit now.
And this is a Chatard team. They've hit 2 threes tonight, both in the quarter. Nearly a turnover. Mason will give it off now to Brebeuf.
A little bumping there.
Yeah.
And more bumping.
This time they're going to blow it on this one, though. Pate just picked up number 2. Did you see Coach talking to Brebeuf right there?
Absolutely. And that had to do with probably the play down there.
Yeah. So it's been a little bit now since the Trojans have been able to put points on the board. They were just going nuts there for a little bit.
Well, and part of that was Brebeuf and turning the ball over, making some poor plays. Nice cut, nice pass.
Yep, Brebeuf gets the bucket. She has 7 unofficially. Quickly the other way. Here's Pate in the corner. 3 no. Offensive rebound put back good by Perry.
I'll tell you, Perry, when she gets a rebound under there, you know, he'd say don't try to stop her, but that's almost a foul without a doubt. Nice breakaway.
Yep. Pate at the other end. How about Pate? She has 7 in the quarter.
Well, when they were really struggling, she picked them up. So,
and all of a sudden, it's down to 4.
Well, 2 things I've seen. A, Chatard has hung on to the ball much better this half so far.
Yeah.
And they've hit a few more shots. But Brebeuf, kudos to them for not just giving in when Chatard went on that huge run.
By the way, Sydney Shaw on the ball game now for Bishop Chatard. By the way, speaking of holding on to the basketball, I have them only for 2 turnovers in this third quarter.
Well, that's going to hurt their average per game.
There's 3.
You know, from a coach's perspective, you would really like to have 10 or less.
Yeah.
You know, you really would. I'm not sure how realistic that is for most high school teams, but that would be your goal.
Yeah. Looks like Brebeuf will be satisfied playing the final shot in the opening quarter, taking it strong, and another foul call will put Brebeuf at the line. Mason picked up the foul. Number 1 on Mason.
So based on what we saw in the first half plus this, I think we're about 25 or 26 fouls.
Well, I don't think we'll hit 50 anyway. That's good news.
No, that's good news.
Schaefer now 2 of 3 from the line. As you see, Natalie Anderson coming in now for Brebeuf. So Chatard potentially will have the final possession of the third quarter.
I think Brebeuf's pressure has really helped stem Chatard's run. There's 3.
At the near buzzer, and the 3-pointer missed. Brebeuf, and the last attempt almost went in. We will head to the fourth quarter. It's down to a 2-point lead for Bishop Chatard.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Well, you see, we have a close one. You know, Chatard got out to that big advantage in that third quarter. As we said, everything kind of evened out, but really nothing decided here in the final 8 minutes.
No, Brebeuf did a really outstanding job of kind of pulling it together after Chatard went on. I think it was like a 15-2 run.
Yeah.
And, of course, I mean, that put Brebeuf down. I think they got down as much as 10 or so. And they've done a really nice job pulling themselves back up into this game. This is going to be a really nice quarter to see how things pan out. I mean, I think it's going to be a really good basketball quarter.
By the way, Chatard scored 20 in that quarter. So they've gone up every quarter, 7, 11, and now 20.
Well, if they go up even more, then
they got to win.
I predict they're going to win.
Brebeuf may have something to say about that here in this final period of play. That's Kendall in the corner. The three-pointer good. That's going to be Robin Pate again, having a heck of a second half.
It puts Brebeuf up, does it not? Yes.
Yeah.
That was a nice shot.
And that's their first three-pointer the second half. Miller had 3 in the first half, none in the second half. That shot missed by Johnson. They'll get the offensive rebound.
Another offensive point. Travel. Nope, foul.
They call the foul there instead, as it was Mason who got the rebound. Looks like they got Robin Pate.
Well, you can't give up 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in a possession. Otherwise, you're going to get a foul. They're going to score.
Yeah. Trojans able to inbound here to Berzai. Off-balance shot missed, and another offensive rebound. That foul's going to go against Schaefer.
Well, we're up to 10 fouls in the half now.
We're getting close.
Yeah. Well, that probably puts it at about 30, does it not?
Probably does. Yeah. I'm trying not to count.
Well, again, it's a game where there's just lots of bodies and arms and
if these two teams meet again next week,
could be interesting.
Yeah. Shot missed by Thompson.
Perry got a nice board.
So again, Brebeuf trying to build now in a 1-point lead. Ball nearly stolen away, and another foul out front against Thompson.
Just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time there.
Sixth team foul now on Bishop Chatard. So one more. We'll see Brebeuf shooting the one in bonus.
And Brebeuf has been good from the line, so.
Ooh, real close. Maybe all 3 points didn't. The drive, left hand, bucket, good by Kendall.
Well, it only takes it doesn't take 3 points when you're going back over. So I think
maybe she got all 3 points across.
Maybe she did, or maybe they got a break.
Berzai with the basketball.
Nice move. Oh.
Almost got it to go.
That freshman looks pretty good.
Yeah. She's long as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to remain here with the Trojans. Quinn Johnson coming in, and Berzai will leave.
I'll tell you what, she was active in there.
Yeah. Yeah, once she able to control a little more of her body, and sometimes she doesn't always locate the rim, though, does she?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, for a freshman in a basketball game of this level with 3A, she did a pretty good job.
Yeah. She had, in fact, unofficially 7 points off the bench.
Nice. And they had struggled.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she was big in that second quarter with 5.
Good help side. Way to step over and get a stop on the penetration.
Miller, by the way, hasn't scored in the second half, and a blocking foul called against Mason.
Wow. That was a nice spin move, but she spun right into a defender. Could have gone the other way.
Yeah. That's always a very tough call for an official to make, is the block charge.
Well, you can be guaranteed that 50% of the coaches agree with it and 50% don't.
12 now by Miller. Are you honestly going to tell me that everybody didn't agree with that?
I can pretty well say so.
13 now by Miller.
Back to their press now, which has given Chatard some problems.
Yeah. There's where you want to trap if you can. Near turnover. That is Bell. The kick out, the 3 off the mark by Thompson, but they're able to get Johnson in there for the rebound.
Yeah.
Perry picks up number 3.
Well, it should be a 1-and-1, I believe, should it not?
That'll be 6 on Brebeuf.
All right.
So one more, everybody shooting some extra free throws. The inbound tipped away by Pate.
I think the fouls are spread around pretty good, so as a result, do we have anybody with 4?
Let's see here. You have Johnson of Chatard with 4. Shot missed by Johnson. Boy, that was what appeared to be perhaps an easy layup.
Oh, and then they didn't get back.
Nope. And a shot made there by Singleton, her first bucket of the ball game.
You know, give credit to Brebeuf. They got down big and now have come back and have a 7-point lead.
In fact, they have shut out Chatard in the quarter right until that 3 by Johnson.
That helps.
They went on a scoring drought in the quarter for 3 minutes, nearly 3. It was a 9-0 run put together by Brebeuf.
Well, then this half we've had 2 big runs.
Wow. Thompson picks up the foul.
Well, there was an emphasis this year that you if you're going to check him, you can do that with your forearm, but it can't stay there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she kind of rode
him like Seattle slew. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Here's Miller back to the free throw line. Well, the way this is going right now with all the foul shots, we might be here a while.
I'm glad I don't have dinner reservations.
I was going to say, you might want to cancel them. Miller now 14 points.
I think both coaches would probably say we need to clean our defense up a little bit for next week.
Yeah. Again, Brebeuf will play the winner of Guerin Catholic and Bishop Chatard.
Oh, nice. Count it.
Yep. Basket good by Bell.
That was a really nice cut on top of the defender and a really nice pass.
Pate, by the way, just picked up her 4th.
You know, that's 2 key players, one for each team that has some trouble.
Just over 10 seconds ran off the clock. We're averaging about a foul every 10 seconds now here in the second half, it appears. And another offensive rebound, another 3. Wow. Pate. And it's going to go out of bounds. Yeah. It'll go over to the Trojans. Nope, over to Brebeuf.
You know, the game has been relatively physical.
It has.
Lots of body to body, and again, sometimes the officials just try to keep things under control. They'll have a tighter whistle.
Still a 4-point lead for Brebeuf. Pate driving baseline and stepped out of bounds.
Yes. Sometimes you run out of room over there.
You do.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a substitution now, I do believe, as you see Singleton coming out of the ball game there for Brebeuf.
Okay, now Brebeuf's called off their press. But they're picking up high. Nice
in the ball game. And a turnover there by Duncan. That's number 13 now.
And there's a foul.
If the crowd didn't like it, they're going to get Mason for number 3.
Well, I think after this one, the next one puts Brebeuf in a double bonus, and they've hit so well from the free throw line now.
Yeah, they're in fact in the second half. They were not very good in the first half, but in the second half, they've hit 7 of 9.
Yeah, much better.
Here's Kendall. And if my math is correct, if you're 8 of 10, that's 80%. That's pretty good, isn't it, Coach?
Well, that's new math or old math.
Second free throw, nothing but net. Kendall now with 6. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Brebeuf leads it by 6.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
49-43, Brebeuf leads it by 6, and we're just about halfway through the fourth quarter. Teams will get the weekend and think about next week, but Chatard again will play on Tuesday. So they don't have a whole lot of time to turn it around. Meanwhile, Brebeuf again will not play until February the 3rd. And that's the second game right after the Shortridge and the winner of Heritage Christian and Heron. And I think we know who probably is going to win that game.
Well, Heritage Christian certainly would be a big favorite going into that game.
Yeah. Yeah, Heron has struggled this year. I did one of their JV games, officiated one of their JV games. Ended up 35-0.
Oh my!
Yeah, it was a rough night.
Yeah, those are the nights that aren't fun for anybody.
No. So now Bishop Chatard only 5 points here in the final period after scoring 20 in the third.
Oh, nice! We've got something special coming here.
Yeah. Set that double screen up top. Here's Thompson. Now the drive, tough shot, missed by Bell.
That was a tough shot.
We'll be naming the Piper Logistics Player of the Game after this one.
My thought would be that with 3 minutes left in the game, you're up by 6. Brebeuf may be conservative on what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not in any hurry right at the moment, are they?
No.
Boy, but you got to hold on to the ball, too.
Yeah, that was... and Chatard can still work to get a good shot. They don't have to rush things.
Here's Bell. Missed it. Rebound goes out of bounds, and I believe will stay right here with Bishop Chatard.
I believe you're right, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about a player's had a good game. Johnson there for Bishop Chatard. In the second half especially, 10 points. She has 12, but that third quarter was big. Here's Bell again.
Nice
Gets this
shot.
one just inside the three-point line.
That was a really good shot. Took her time, just used her form and put it in.
Back again to a 4-point lead.
You still don't have to do anything drastic here. Just if you can keep pressure on them.
Dump down Perry. Yes, big bucket.
You can't let her get the ball there.
Perry in double figures with 10. Bishop Chatard pushing it quickly. In the lane, missed it is Bell.
Now that was Perry being there because she put the ball just that much higher over her.
So we, as you see, coming up on the 2-minute mark. Ball stripped away there by Thompson.
Now, Chatard, unfortunately, they're at 9 fouls, and they're probably with it being 2 to 3 possessions, they probably need to start fouling a little bit.
Brebeuf leads it by 6.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
(51-45). We are down to 1:59 remaining. Now, if you're Brebeuf, they are 9 of 11 in the second half from the free throw line. It was just the opposite pretty much in the first half.
Right.
And then you look at Bishop Chatard. They've only been to the free throw line twice in the second half. Yet in the first half, they were there on a regular basis.
And they hit them well. In this case, you're down a couple possessions. You may want to see if Brebeuf can continue to hit from the line. I don't think you want to let them hold on the ball for 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah, time's going to be a huge factor here for Bishop Chatard. Kendall, just a freshman.
Yeah, definitely. They're kind of spread it a little bit, and okay.
Yep, we're going to go to the line. Miller is perfect from the line here in the fourth quarter, 4 for 4.
My guess is they came out. If they had a layup, they take it. If not, nothing else goes up.
Yeah. So some big free throws here for Miller. Try to put a little more distance between Brebeuf and Chatard. She's now hit 5 in a row.
If you're Chatard, you're fouling with the idea maybe get a split on them, go down and score, so you outscore them by 1 each trip. But if they hit both of these, then it's hard to do that.
Yep. Second one is missed as the battle for the rebound. And we've got a foul at the other end, and we'll go back to the line for Bishop Chatard.
On the other hand, Brebeuf really would not want to foul them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendall picks up number 2.
Now, Chatard was really good in the first half from the line.
Yeah, just haven't been there a whole lot in the second half, but then you missed that one.
Yeah, she really needs to get to pick this one up.
1 of 3
and then,
from the line.
And then Chatard's going to have to think about fouling quicker this time.
They were 8 of 9 in the first half.
And missed them both.
Wow. Big rebound there by Perry. So that makes them 1 of 4 in the second half. Miller turned it over. And then a foul call
on Perry. So that means then Chatard's going back 1-1.
By the way, Perry just picked up number 4.
Wow. And she's hard to deal with on the boards.
So here is Thompson at the line. Thompson, 10 points. Able to hit a big free throw.
That helps.
By the way, somebody's noggin in front of our clock cam. You see that right there?
Yes.
Second free throw.
Nice shot. All right, so now, and we're obviously pressing. Oh, nice double.
Yeah, Brebeuf keeping that ball pretty much in the middle of the floor, aren't they? It's a good job. Here's Miller. And a reaching foul called against Duncan.
Now you want to create as many possessions for yourself as possible, so you commit the fouls a little bit quicker.
Yep. Well, Miller back to the line, 1 of 2 in her last trip. Chatard now with 10.
Yeah, if they can get a split again and go down and score, then. But that was a nice shot, so pressure's off. So if she hits this one, then you're back to 3 possessions.
Miller, chance to get to 17.
Yeah, nice shot.
So lead at 7. This is Bell. They got to work a little quicker here.
Nice cut to the basket.
Yep, here's Johnson, and it'll get stuck between the rim and the
Depends on whose ball it is now.
Yep. How about the official? Helps me if you're about 6'3", 6'4".
You know, I'm not even sure I could get there if I were 6'3", 6'4".
You notice the other 2 officials didn't offer to do that, did they?
They didn't even walk that away.
No, they didn't even think about it. Still a 7-point lead. Shot up the glass missed by Thompson. Battle for the basketball. We've got a jump ball and a little extracurricular activity. Anna Thompson trying to come away with the ball there.
Now Chatard doesn't have any time to waste now. They should give it at least one more time. Get them to the free throw line. Okay.
That's on Thompson. That'll be her 3rd.
Well, now if they can get a couple misses here, then and they can get down and score. I mean, they're still in the game. 2 more makes here, and it becomes really difficult.
Yeah. By the way, Thompson actually picked up number 4. She has 12 points tonight.
She had a nice ball game.
So missed by Kendall.
So if she is able to hit this one, that's an 8-point game, which still is 3 possessions.
But they don't work quick enough offensively to.
No. So they're going to have to get quick shots up and then quick fouls.
So Kendall gets 1 of 2.
Okay, they're rushing it down.
Oh boy, strong drive, but Duncan missed it badly.
Yeah, now it becomes a little bit really difficult.
Ball nearly stolen away. By the way, Miller with 17, Robin Payne with 12.
Nice
7
ball
points
game.
by Kendall.
Yeah, nice ball game.
3 points by Schaefer. 10 points by Perry. Singleton with 2.
Good again.
Looks like we got another foul call.
Okay. And obviously Chatard's picking up some fouls now just because they have to.
Thompson fouls out. She will finish again with 12. She, along with Johnson, with 12 apiece. 10 points by Bell.
You know, it's interesting. In Indiana, because of the way we play the game with the state tournament, you know, this last loss, you forget about it pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting ready now. The excitement of the next week starts tomorrow.
Yeah, it sure does. Boy, Miller's been big at free throw line.
She's really come up big this half.
You know, 18 points.
Nice ball game.
She did not score a field goal in the second half. She still has 19.
Well, she's just had a nice ball game.
Kendall picks up number 3 now for Brebeuf, and that's an instance there. Just don't foul. Just even if she makes it, no big deal.
Well, I can guarantee you, the Brebeuf coaching staff has been yelling that don't foul.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, that's just it's let her go.
Johnson at the line once again for number 2.
Because you don't want to give in, Chatard will probably commit one more foul.
Yeah. Johnson with 14 points.
I thought that went off Brebeuf's hands. Huh.
Again, after this one, we'll name the Piper Logistics Player of the Game. And a quick foul in the backcourt if they got Bell. I believe that is number 4.
If she hits these two, Chatard comes down and misses. I think they'll just let the clock run out. At least you probably would.
Yeah. So here's Kendall at the line. 9 points tonight, 3 of 4 from the line.
Brebeuf in the second half has been really, really good from the line. And then that's the broadcaster jinx, is it not?
And that's been really the difference.
Yeah.
Because they've only scored 4 baskets in the fourth quarter. Oh, and we were doing so well.
Yep, we just lost everything.
Well, our night might be over.
We don't go with you.
My night's over anyway.
Yeah. I swear. 57-49 with, again, 6.4 seconds remaining as you see Miller, again, back to the free throw line. She's now at 20 tonight.
Again, really nice job at the free throw line in the second half for Brebeuf.
They have shot 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 22 free throws in the second half.
Wow. And a lot of them in the last 2-3 minutes as Chatard's had to foul.
How about that 3 by Bell?
Yeah.
So that is going to do it. Your final score, Brebeuf 59 and Chatard 52. Kind of as we had mentioned earlier, I mean, a lot of foul calls here tonight. Turnovers went down in the second half, especially for Bishop Chatard.
Right.
But it's time to name the Piper Logistics Player of the Game, and we have decided it's Robin Pate. Pate had that good stretch in the third and hit that big 3 in the fourth quarter that I think eventually had given Brebeuf the lead. Despite Miller scoring 20 points tonight, Robin Pate is our Piper Logistics Player of the Game.
Well, I mean, Chatard got off such a good start in the second half.
Yeah.
14-2, and then Pate certainly helped stop that.
Yeah.
And really got Brebeuf back on the snide.
All right, tournament time next week. These two teams might meet again.
They very well could next Friday, a week from today.
Yeah.
Assuming that I think is it Chatard that plays Tuesday night?
Chatard will play on Tuesday night. In fact, they will take on Garin Catholic.
That'll be a nice competitive ball game. But if Chatard wins that, then 1 week later, these two teams are back at it again.
Have a rematch right there. Coach Weems, good to see you again, sir.
Nice seeing you.
Final score tonight, Brebeuf wins at 59-52. The boys' game coming up in about 30 minutes right here on IndianaSRN. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bishop Chatard High School as we bring you boys high school basketball right here on IndianaSRN. The Trojans coming into tonight's game at 10-3. They've won 5 out of their last 6. They'll be hosting the Braves of Brebeuf, who come in at 9-5, winners of 3 of their last 4 games. Tonight's game brought to you in part by IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences. Begin your journey today. Also by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and the community since 1955. Troy Nergowska, Craig Cox with you here tonight, and it's a packed house, as you can see. People even standing at the end of the courts trying to find a seat here tonight. The girls' game got packed pretty quick, and they've all stayed now for the boys' game. And Craig, there's no doubt about it. Get these two teams together. Love to play this game of basketball. They're both playing well right now. Should be a great contest.
No, without question, and I think it certainly starts with these are two programs that are very familiar with each other, kind of crosstown rivals, so to speak. But the bigger thing is anytime you have a conference game, but then furthermore, you're also going to have a sectional opponent. These two teams of personnel know each other very well. A lot of these kids, came up through the same feeder system and then maybe parted ways, if you will, with going to a little bit of the west side in Brebeuf and some staying near east side with Chatard. And so, you got two coaches that are very familiar with each other as well. Kenny Roseman, obviously been around for a while, took a little sabbatical, if you will, to support his older boy, AJ, who graduated last year and got a younger one we'll talk about here in a bit. But started back here in his second year at Chatard, and then you got Allen's in his first year overall here at Brebeuf.
We had a chance to see Brebeuf not long ago. They were up at Guerin Catholic, and that was a heck of a ball game between those two teams as well. And Brebeuf, as we said, they're ranked number 11 in 3A in the latest AP poll. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They really defend well, got some really good athletes. They're the kind of team they can get up and down the floor with just about anybody.
No, they can. Had a little bit of rough spell at times, kind of inconsistent with the shooting ends, but they're a team that can hurt you not only in transition, but they're a good disciplined team that can break you down in the half-court set too. And so that's a sign of a good, balanced, well-coached team. And, I mean, you're going to get much in the same with Chatard. I mean, they've, as you mentioned, they've won 5 of their last 6, had 2 quality wins, one Barnaburner at the beginning of the season against Heritage, and then won the second one with them as well through the city, and just having a good, solid year at 10-3. But again, 2 Circle City opponents. The Circle City Conference is very solid, and so we're expecting a great game here tonight right here on Kessler Boulevard.
By the way, Brebeuf, they are led by Evan Haywood, a 6'4 junior. He's really very, very tough to guard, but I'll tell you what, Merrick Macaluso, when he played up there at Guerin that night, I mean, he's just hard-nosed, tough kid, able to get to the basketball. Seems like every loose ball there was, he was able to get to it. Keep an eye on him tonight. But those two guys really, really very, very good players.
Yeah, Macaluso is one that those are the intangibles that you just can't teach. Those are, good instincts, things he comes to play every night. And, again, Coach Clunt's got a few of those on his team. And Coach Roseman's not short of it either. I mean, on the other side, what a great gym he has in his own boy.
Yeah.
Not only as his son, but also a player and contributing fabulously here early on in his first year as a freshman, averaging 14 a game and really kind of probably picking up a little bit of bragging rights at home with his graduated brother AJ from last year and starting off so well as a freshman.
When we come back, we'll talk more about the Trojans because they have other players that are going to be a huge contribution for this basketball team here tonight and the rest of the way. High school basketball right here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Tonight's game, and by the way, I do want to mention this real quick. This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA and IndianaSRN is strictly prohibited. Well, we talked a little bit about Ethan Roseman and the type of year he is having as a freshman. But they've got a couple other guys to watch here tonight. One of those, Robert Davidson, nearly 16 points per game. Long kid, has long arms, and really takes it strong to the basket. Talk a little bit about Davidson and what you see in him.
Yeah, I mean, he's one that can really, he loves the open court, but the thing that he does is attack the basket well. But as you mentioned, Troy, he's got great length and more than what his size is at 6'4". Kid's got about 6'7", 6'8" wingspan. So he's one that can certainly hurt you with the points of attack, really get some valuable putback baskets with his rebounding skills as well. And then Colin Guy is another one that they've had that's made some good contributions. The stats don't totally jump off the page at you with a kid like him, but he's done some great things for Coach Roseman and the Trojans in terms of picking up the slack and doing the little things that help secure possessions and help create extra ones as well.
Of any of the teams we've called this year, I would think Bishop Chatard, they can go 10 deep. I mean, they got that many guys. They come off the bench. You mentioned Colin Guy. Sometimes he'll get the start. Sam Lewis, Nolan Stifler, Scott Semler, Drew Knapp. I like Wade McAllister. They just have so many different players that can come in and play.
No, and I'll tell you, that's huge, not only in the in-season piece, but it becomes so much more valuable even when you get to postseason play with sectionals beginning here in about 3.5 weeks. So those are types of things where, when you have that depth and you don't really lose a whole lot when you get into your 7th and 8th guys, and in your case, as you're speaking, where they go 9 or 10, it just becomes huge because most of your high school teams really are going to be about 2 deep, and some might not even be that.
Yeah.
And so, Coach Roseman's got a great gift with that, and guys come in and not lose a lot.
By the way, this is in fact, really both teams take care of the basketball. Bishop Chatard averaging just over 12 turnovers per game, but they shoot it pretty well at 46%. They're 31% from three-point range. You're going to see Lewis and Guy, Stifler, Semler. Those guys can really shoot the three, as can Drew Knapp. And then again, you already mentioned Robert Davidson, the way he can play inside. And I like, again, Wade McAllister in the game he brings to the table as well. By the way, you mentioned that the Braves are ranked number 11 in 3A. On the other side, Bishop Chatard is ranked number 8 in 3A. So you're talking about two teams that are ranked in the top 15 of the latest AP poll. It kind of shows you, again, how good this conference is, too.
No, it is. And as we talked about earlier, this conference is not short of any of that. And there's some great rivalries that you have with Covenant Christian and Garin Catholic and Brebeuf and Heritage and Chatard here tonight, and got 2 of them leaders. So, there's a lot at stake here, more than just a game. It's a conference game, and also kind of get a feel for what these two teams could meet up again in sectional play. They're both very much alike, as we talked about on the outset of the opening segment here. But both these teams, if you can't get anything out of transition, they're really going to try to hit you a lot in the passing game. Really try to work the ball, break you down defensively, and look to play for their shot. Both teams do a good job of shot selection. They're coached well. They got good disciplined players that really play to the points of their program.
Well, Bishop Chatard 10-3 on the season, as we mentioned, and again, they played well, winning 5 of their last 6. Brebeuf, though, coming in winning 3 of their last 4. They did pick up that win that we did at Guerin. It was a low-scoring game, 38-35, and Macaluso ended up with 18 points, 18 of their 38, so they give you a pretty good idea of how well he played that night. Let's go to our public address announcer for the starting lineups of tonight's matchup.
Jesuit Braves. Number 0, Reese Butcher. Number 1, Evan Haywood. Number 4, Merrick Macaluso. Number 5, Quinn Warren. And number 12, Cam Freeman. The head coach of the Braves is Alan Blunt.
That's not there.
Get on your feet and make some noise for your Number 1, Ethan Rose. 5'9" senior. Number 2, Sam Lewis. Senior, number 13, Drew Knapp. And one forward, a 6'3" senior, number 4, Nolan Stitzler. And a forward, a 6'4" senior, 11, Rob Davidson.
There you have the starters. Again, for the Braves, it'll be Butcher, Haywood, Macaluso, Warren, and Freeman for Bishop Chatard tonight. Thanks. I'm glad the lights could come back on. Roseman, Davidson, Lewis, Stifler, and Knapp. Coach, what do you think about this one? What's the keys?
Well, I think ball pressure will be a big one with Chatard. They're really known for that, how well they can kind of get up in the face of Brebeuf and really drive them off their line, really trying to make them create some shots. Brebeuf has struggled from time to time throughout the year with some of their shooting. They're certainly a little bit more attacking and finishing inside than they are just a total consistent perimeter game.
So you see Brebeuf in the dark uniforms to get the basketball first. Of course, you look at Quinn Warren, who got the jump. He is a 6'7" guy who can really play down low, and they'll get it to him first on the low block. Working there against Stifler. Skip past here is Butcher. Behind the back, I'm not sure if that was intended or not, but it's a turnover there for the Braves, and we already have stoppage of play, and one official heading over to the scorer's table.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the stoppage was for. There was really no motion or didn't seem to be obviously any type of violation call of anything, so I don't know if it's a clock issue or it looks like it might be a ball type situation, and maybe that was part of the turnover because it didn't look like it was a pass that who kind of lost it. So I think it looks like that they're trying to see if the ball's going to change, and that's exactly what it is.
We don't see that very often, do you?
No, and usually checked well before the game. It's like, better get your 7 to 9 pounds in. Nonetheless, we're ready for some basketball.
Yeah, that might be a first for me, at least for a while. Great crowd on hand here tonight. Roseman tipped from behind. Each team now with a turnover. Here come the Braves back the other way. Here's Haywood for 3. No. And the long rebound finally lands into the hands of Stifler.
In games like this, a lot of times you'll get this too, where there's so much familiarity with, the social side of it. A lot of these kids knowing each other, got a lot of the nerves hitting you, starting off with an air ball and 2 turnovers, one by each team, trying to get settled in here.
That is Roseman, averaging nearly 14 per game. Sam Lewis, guy can stroke it from the outside.
This is the thing, too, you'll see with both teams in terms of the patience. We talked about how both of them want to hit you with the passing game, play for their shot. And a lot of teams, you won't see that on the high school end, is playing with a lot of poise and patience and their ability, especially right out the gate. So,
how about Davidson down the lane for his first 2?
Well, and he's the type of one. We talked about how he likes to attack, a lot of off-speed stuff. Will hit you with the hesitation dribbles, which is what he did there, and getting it easy uncontested.
Freeman able to get it across the timeline. A little token pressure put on by the Trojans. Macaluso, as I mentioned, with a basketball of just moments ago to Haywood.
Yeah, great shot here with the student section right behind, all pink, and get another 3 here, not drawing anything.
Boy, another air ball. Here's Davidson back the other way, and a whistle and a foul. They may get Quinn Warren on the first of the ball game.
Well, and that's the thing, Robert Lights is getting in the transition, hitting the open court, using his ability to attack the rim. And the thing about a lot of his penetration is he does such a good job of getting straight line attacks, not getting things laterally and going away from the basket. He hits you right downhill and forces you to defend.
Davidson, he played well in the city tournament, which was eventually won by Crispus Attucks. They upset Cathedral on the championship night.
Yeah, special shout out to Coach Hawkins and the Tigers there. What an impressive win over a strong Cathedral team.
Second free throw missed, but there's Ethan Roseman to grab the basketball and lay it in.
Well, certainly ones you don't want to have the breakdowns off of missed rebounds off free throws. That's certainly the toughest time to give up any type of offensive board, especially when it ends up or results in an easy uncontested.
Freeman able to get away from the potential double team headed his way.
Thing you'll see too throughout the night is Chatard does a really good job with their gap defense, really jumping to the ball well, helping, getting downhill as Brebeuf here gets on the board. First ones of the night with Macaluso.
Yeah, spin move by the senior with the left hand, gets first 2 points there for Brebeuf. 3 minutes gone in this one. Davidson and a reaching foul. Nope, they're going to say an offensive foul instead on the Trojans. Got a moving screen, looks like, against Nolan Stifler. So that'll be their second turnover. Not a seat to be had in this gym right now. In fact, you're looking at pretty much standing room only for any fans coming in late. Not a big gym anyway.
Yeah, it's not. And a lot of the parochial schools are set up in the same, and much like with Brebeuf being a Jesuit school, a lot of their gyms are the same. But we talked about earlier with the student section in the background, both these programs do a phenomenal job. And a shout out to the administration of both schools because they just do a tremendous job. Had a couple football games with both of these programs as well during the football season. And it's nothing short of seeing what you have with the tailgates and how it carries over to the winter sports. So really great job by the administration, the athletic department, and creating a culture of pride with these students.
Step back 3 by Haywood is missed, and Brebeuf remains cold from the outside. By the way, Nolan Stifler picked up the foul, his second, so Wade McAllister is now checked into the ball game.
And tough to pick up, too, this early for a player that certainly has done some very positive things for the program this year.
One-hand pass, McAllister taking it over, the much bigger Warren for his first 2.
Well, not only a great way to come into the game, but when you get the ball that deep in the post, there's only one thing to do with it. Like to see him kind of work his way a little bit more to the basket as opposed to fade, but really good finish there by Wade.
Yeah, Warren didn't want to pick up his second. And we got another foul call. We had a ton of fouls in the girls' game earlier as Roseman picks up his first.
The other thing, these two schools, too, that, there's a lot of second, third, fourth generation, kids in the family where a lot of these students, their parents went to these respective schools as well. The pipelines are strong with the alumni and the family, just generational runs deep with both these schools.
How about that shot?
Macaluso once again.
Yeah, he's got 4.
Willing his way to the basket.
By the way, Javon Brooks has come in, the junior guard now for Brebeuf. Knapp tried to get it to McAllister, third turnover. Back the other way, layup good at the other end by Brooks.
That's kind of the first transition point that we've seen from either team to this point as we approach the 3-minute mark.
3 turnovers now by Bishop Chatard, just 1 by Brebeuf. I think now we can call this a low-scoring opening period of play to this point. Davidson, the floater off the glass and good. He has 5.
Yeah, great use of the glass. A lot of the game that you really don't see kids using much anymore, and especially at a point of attack like Robert did there. Your momentum's carrying you forward. Need a little bit of aid or a little bit of help. So nice kiss off the glass there and using that for that finish.
Back to a 3-point lead. There is Butcher. And able to regain control of the basketball and lay it in.
And his first basket of the night.
Drive by Roseman. Able to take it over Quinn Warren, and Roseman now has 4.
Well, a 6-second answer right there.
Boy, no kidding.
And that's what, out of these two, both teams, will like the transition. But interesting enough, Chatard has had more transition points. But when you look at the athleticism and what Brebeuf has, they're kind of set up on paper to look like they would be the better transition team. Got a missed 3 here by Butcher.
Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Braves. Here is Scott Semler now, averaging 3.8 points per game. Also Colin Guy checking in for Chatard, and now we're starting to see some of the depth that we talked about in the pregame.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. As you talked about that earlier, it's their 4th sub.
Shot on the way missed by Warren, and the putback.
Looks like it was Warren on his own tip there too.
Yeah, now 10 points here in the opening period for Brebeuf. 4 different players able to get in the scoring column so far. As we're coming up on the final 90 seconds. And a whistle and a 5-second call against Semler, and that'll be the 4th turnover.
And certainly those types of things where you get yourself in those situations is to be able to attack the basket. The lateral dribbling, we'll certainly refer to that a lot as far as trimming the edge, where you're really not puncturing the defense and forcing any type of help, really doesn't do anything for you. And in that case, it caused a turnover with a 5-second call.
Here is Butcher, entry pass, and Macaluso once again. He has 6 in the opening quarter.
Well, good post entry pass there again, like it happened with Chatard a few possessions ago. You get the ball that deep, there's only one thing to do, and that is to go up strong. And Macaluso's all 3 of his baskets has been around the rim, so he's established himself early on.
Roseman out now to Colin Guy. Let's see how long Bishop Chatard will hold the basketball here.
And it might be for the quarter.
Yeah.
They've been known at times to do that. And so, you talked about earlier before this game, you had the Garin Catholic game as well, and it was in the 30-point for both teams. And so not that they're intentionally wanting to play that type of style for the game, but there are ones throughout the year. We saw it in both Heritage games as well, where they'll play again. We talked about this before, for their shot. But when the time calls upon it, they'll make the extra passes here.
Davidson, the kick out. Roseman, 12 seconds. Here's a 3 on the way, missed by Colin Guy. Brebeuf has a chance. The lob underneath, missing the shot is Butcher. And Chatard has one last opportunity right here. Roseman, I don't think, had a chance to get that one in, but that's going to do it. A flurry at the end of 1. Brebeuf leads it by 1.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe. It's a new spot for breakfast or lunch, open Wednesday through Sunday. Try their classic breakfast and their sweet baked goods. They're located in Lawrence. Coach recommends the Sloppy Joes with extra pickles. Check out Tam's at 6427 Oaklandon Road. Give them a call at 317-760-1640, and we are ready for period number 2. It will be Chatard basketball. They had the lead for the most part of that opening period until Macaluso got that last 2-point basket. Good look here at Lewis, and a foul call. I think they got Freeman.
Yeah, and one at that point, too. Got a little overzealous there where, he really didn't need to come to help there because his teammate had him contained. So you don't want to ever leave your man and try to jump like that unless you're doing a run and jump. You kind of want to stay in the help side gap defense and not leave your man when your teammate already had him contained.
In the ball game, Drew Knapp. That'll give Robert Davidson a chance to get a blow. 5 turnovers now by Bishop Chatard. And here come the Braves once again. On the drive is Haywood. Nice crossover by Freeman, and we have a whistle and a foul call. And I think they got Colin Guy for his first.
Colin, the younger brother of Colin Guy that plays for, I think he's still with the Kings, Sacramento Kings.
I'm not sure if I know we saw him in football.
Yeah, he played. Yeah,
and
his brother Kyle, went at Mr. Basketball at Lawrence Central, played at Virginia, and
we got a holding
NBA
foul.
now.
Yeah, I was going to say he did show up at one of the football games. Fouls on Colin Guy, his second. Roseman quickly back in. Guy didn't last very long, did he? Get 2 fouls that quick?
Yeah, I was going to say, when they happen that quick, you're going to probably be sitting back down.
Davidson quickly back in for Sam Lewis. Nice entry, and Macaluso once again with the left hand. He has 8. 3-point lead now for Brebeuf. Roseman from 14, can't get it to go. Gets the offensive rebound, put back, no, and a foul call. They may get Quinn Warren for his second.
And great job there by Ethan following his own shot. You don't see that a lot with younger players, especially him being on just a freshman. But great job of attacking the basket after his own shot. And this is a young man that doesn't have a lot of size, but rebounds well for his size, and showed it right there and drawing the foul on the putback.
Roseman with 5, by the way. Jaron Bowling, a 6'5 senior, number 34, is in the ball game for Brebeuf. He picked up the foul, and both free throws good by Roseman. And we've got a timeout on the floor. It will be a 30-second timeout. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Jack's Donuts. Jack's Donuts has great donuts made, served fresh every day, plus great tasting coffee. Stop by Jack's at 9105 East 56th Street or Jack's in your neighborhood. Jack's Donuts, the official donut of IndianaSRN. As you take a look at the Trojans huddle on this 30-second timeout. We were talking earlier during the girls' game. Their tournament starts next week. We're only about 3 weeks or so away from the boys' tournament.
Yeah, it's flying by. I mean, it just seems like a couple weeks ago we were in football, and here we are a little bit more than halfway through the boys' season as well. And so exciting time of the year with sectional play kicking off with the girls and soon to be with the guys as well.
Quick entry. Macaluso got the defender in the air, had his shot blocked, able to get it back and lay it in. He is already in double figures with 10.
Well, I'm 5 for 5 at that, but at the same time, all 5 of them have been right around the rim. But he's been doing a good job of not only establishing himself, but calling for the ball and getting good, strong finishes.
Lead at 3. Here is a 16-footer straightaway by Roseman, and he's having a heck of a first half.
Well, and he's one, too, that you don't want to give a lot of space to. He's very comfortable shooting the ball, not only behind the arc, but in the mid-range game. And a lot of times you'll see players that are one or the two of those. He's got good balance of being able to hit that, too.
Want to remind you after the game, the Piper Logistics player of the game, Macaluso, splits defenders, and will go to the line for 2. Get who'd you say that foul was on? Oh, they're going to say Knapp, yeah. So Knapp picks up his first. So Macaluso at the line. Well,
he's perfect from the field and now the line tonight with his first one, knocking it down. Hopefully I'm not jinxing him on this second. But has came out and established himself really well for this Braves offense. Looks like we also have Butcher back in here.
And number 0, Reese Butcher. You see him right there. And second free throw is good. And Macaluso again having a heck of a first half already. And again, he played so well against Garin Catholic in that win.
Yeah, you look on that where Scotty had his guy beat inside hip. And you're seeing that so much more in today's game where the offensive player has his defender beat and he pulls back or he gets lateral. Got to keep continuing to get downhill, especially when you got him on your inside hip. Try to draw that contact, draw a foul, or the next defender here as he takes it and actually had an interesting no call, and then we had a charge, well after, but nonetheless it'll be Braves ball here.
Yeah, the underneath official didn't call it. The outside official did, so it'll be Semler on the foul. That'll be 6 turnovers now for Bishop Chatard. And by the way, that was actually kind of a late call, too.
Yeah, and it was. That's why I was looking for it to be something else. But then when I saw him signal as who else but Merrick Macaluso, once again, 6 for 6, 2 for 2 from the line. It's quite efficient there, Trey.
Yeah, he apparently likes this gym, too. Here's Davidson on the drive, got caught in the air and a foul call. We'll put Davidson at the line for 2.
I guess right now we can call it Bishop Chatard 15, and we got Macaluso with 14. So he's almost evened up the score with Chatard by himself.
Davidson 1 for 2 from the line. Davidson listed at about 6'6", as you see Quinn Warren coming back in.
Like Wade McAllister checking back in for the Trojans as well.
Brebeuf has also brought in Will Ryan wearing number 3. As Davidson able to get both. We haven't had a whole lot of separation either way, and the lead stays at 3.
Yeah, kind of seeing it's more pack line defense here. I tell you, Chatard has had, as we get a basket here by Warren, who just checked in the game for his second basket tonight, but Chatard uncharacteristically has given up a lot of their points. Probably about 85% of their points have given up right at the basket. Really got to cut out a lot of that interior passing. Brebeuf's done a great job of establishing, but finding their teammates with the basket vision, but just far too many points in the paint that have been given up to this point with the Trojan defense.
Yeah, their shooting percentage looks really good right now.
Yeah, right.
This is Roseman.
These type of situations here, make your move or move the ball. Get downhill if you can't beat your guy, or you got to accept sometimes he shuts you down. You got to deliver it. You got to move the ball to break the defense down.
Here's Davidson, tries to throw that one up and missed it, and I think they got him
for a foul there.
Yep.
It's another example, though, there that you have in Robert in terms of his straight line attacks. We talked about that earlier. Does a really good job of finding his line and getting downhill to it. But sometimes you'll get that where, you know, you're trying to get what you feel is an easy finish. You don't get that, and then you kind of get a frustrating foul, which you don't want to do, especially when they're 85 feet from the basket. Not to mention you're in the bonus as well, and giving the Braves, possibly 2 shots here from the stripe.
This is Butcher at the line and can't get the roll.
Looks like they're going to get Warren on the over-the-back call there on the rebound.
So that'll be on Warren picking up number 2. Still a 5-point lead here in the second quarter. Davidson now will bring the ball up for the Trojans. Semler in the ball game along with Roseman as Roseman takes it up front. McAllister take that back. That's going to be Knapp setting the screen. Roseman pull-up shot on the way. Good. Ethan Roseman.
Yeah, really good job with the pull-up. Read his guy, kind of started drifting in a bit and, just stop pull-up. Tough shot to make, too, going kind of away to his left. But nonetheless, nice knockdown.
Roseman now with 10. Mentioned Will Ryan in the ball game. He didn't play a whole lot in that game against Guerin. Caluso on the drive. Nice cutoff on the baseline there by McAllister.
Yeah, good patience by Brebeuf. Again, what we've seen on multiple possessions here with Chatard here. This has been their guy working his way back to the basket again. But McAllister having something to say about that, putting it back right at him.
Yeah, those two have been jockeying for position down there. Got really physical.
Yeah, much to his dislike, Merrick's checking out of the game. But really good defense there by McAllister.
You see the Braves off the inbound on the baseline. Alex Hill is now checked in, number 10 for Brebeuf. Shot missed there by Butcher, and here come the Trojans. Lead pass to McAllister. And a turnover by Semler, number 7. Brebeuf able to get it back. Drive down the lane, basket good by Sam Sherman, who's in the ball game as well for Brebeuf. And we've got a timeout on the floor called by the Braves. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Pat Cherry Insurance Agency. We suggest you contact his team for all your insurance needs, whether it's family, car, business, or home. They're an insurance company to serve you. Contact them today at 317-894-7000. By the way, Bishop Chatard, 7 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, on both these teams, there's a lot of parallels to their stat lines. Chatard's had the better shooting year, but outside of that, there's a lot of parallels. But both of them, at 13, that Chatard is averaging 14 for Brebeuf. Pretty average or typical for high school games, but certainly above a little bit their threshold right now with still 2.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter, having a little bit more before or prior to the halfway point.
So after the quick timeout, a 5-point lead here for the Braves. Roseman's in double figures. We mentioned Macaluso in double figures as well for the Braves. He is out of the ball game. Here's a Roseman catch and shoot and hits his first 3 of the night.
Well, and it's the first 3 of the night we've had from either team.
Yeah.
But neither of these teams, even though they can hit the 3, they don't rely heavily on it. Again, both of them kind of work the passing game, play for their shot, look to get the interior passing if they're not getting anything in the transition. But first one of the 3 with Roseman knocking that down.
Brooks in the ball game with the basketball. They've run the clock under the 2-minute mark. In the corner, 3-pointers on the way and missed by Sherman.
A really good job there by Chatard in getting the block out. Really had a good seal zone there as McAllister comes up a little short on his shot, but really good job on the boards and sealing off and eliminating that opportunity for a second chance.
Strong drive down the lane. Bucket good as Freeman gets his first two. Back to a 4-point lead. Here's Davidson and another whistle and a foul call.
Straight line attack. I mean, again, it's just much harder to defend, and you're going to insert your will on the defense in terms of drawing contact. Does a really good job of body control and kind of a little bit playing through that contact. Wasn't able to get it to finish, but he's at the line shooting two more.
Davidson has 7. Only 3 players have scored for Bishop Chatard. And Davidson now 4 of 5 from the line.
Yeah, and our leading scorers right now, Roseman's got 13 and Macalusa has 14, who just came back into the game for the Braves as well. So let's see if he can add to that. Been a very competitive game. No team has been up more than 4 at this point, and got a chance here to make it a 2-point game as Davidson does, knocking down them both.
So he now has 9.
He's now 5 of 6 from the line.
So 22 of the 24 scored between Roseman and Davidson. Here's a 3 the other way by Haywood. He has yet to score tonight. Chatard with a 3 could take the lead right here.
Roseman pull it.
Yep. Hits another one. Roseman now with 16 points.
Yeah, and he's averaging 14 on the year, so above that, so getting some great output, as is the Brebeuf with Macalusa. Now these teams both have to get somebody to help those two guys on their respective teams to get a supporting cast here.
Well, it's not going to happen right there. The shot by Brooks is off the mark, and a rebounding foul is going to be called against
Drew Knapp, wasn't it?
Yeah, they got Knapp. So Knapp just picked up his second.
Well, no, almost on the double bonus. Time's almost out, too. But the nice thing is Brebeuf, on the next one, Chatard will be shooting. But, Brebeuf's actually been in their bonus now for about the last 2.5 minutes.
So Brooks at the line for the first time tonight. Able to connect, tie the ball game at 27.
And this is a Brebeuf team, too, that's really struggled from the line as a team only shooting 56%, which is kind of uncharacteristic for a Brebeuf team. But nonetheless, good thing is Javon knocks both of these down to give them back the 1-point lead.
And they're now 4 of 5 from the line in the first half. But the hot hand has been Ethan Roseman. 16 points here in the first half, just hit back-to-back threes. But still, Brebeuf leads it by 1.
These type of situations at the end of the first quarter, again, they were in the same situation, held it for almost a minute. Here, you want to wait and go at the play at about 7 or 8, trying to get your shot off at about 4, giving yourself an opportunity to get an offensive putback. But you're getting another 5-second call. And again, you got to make your advancement towards the basket to get that reset. And so this is the second time. And those are the types of things that will drive a coach crazy because they're really unforced turnovers, and especially at a critical time. Looks like the clock's not starting. They were finally get it going.
Macaluso, the turn with the left hand, can't get it. The tip up, yes. And I think that was actually Brooks.
It was.
And that's going to do it for the opening half of play. As Brebeuf will walk into the locker room with a 3-point lead. And boy, we've actually seen some points on the board here in the first half from two teams that just don't put up a lot of points.
No, they don't. It's a one-possession game, kind of what you would think in a conference matchup with two teams that are very familiar with themselves or each other. Had very balanced scoring. It was 12-11. Brebeuf was up 1. And then they outscored them by 2 there in the second, 18-16 for a 3-point lead here at half.
By the way, only 1 turnover by Brebeuf in that first half as well, and you looked at 8 on the other side.
Well, you can maximize your possession, and ball control is huge. The other thing that they've done is they've flat-out controlled the half-court postgame. Probably 80% of their points have been there. They haven't hit a three yet. Done pretty decent from the line, as you mentioned earlier. The thing that's kind of helped Brebeuf a little bit more is a little bit of their transition game and getting to the line as well. Both these teams have hit free throws here tonight.
Take a timeout. Brebeuf with a 3-point lead here at the half.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@IndianaSRN.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
Without the basket, the sport of basketball would just be ball, and no one wants to play with balls if baskets aren't involved. So in this video, we're going to go over the history and evolution of the basket. A little while back we talked about the history of the ball, so you know where to go if you want to watch that video. This is a basket-only program. Basketball was invented in the winter of 1891. James Naismith wanted to invent a sport that can be played indoors during the winter time at YMCA, and so he did just that. He created the first basketball hoop with a broken peach basket that he placed 10 feet into the air. Why 10 feet, you might be wondering? Well, there's no significant reason for the sport itself. This was more so a coincidence, as he hung the peach baskets on the railing of the indoor running track at the YMCA gym in Springfield, Massachusetts, and that railing was 10 feet off the ground. Of course, that height stuck for the majority of its history, but what did change significantly is the basket. The baskets at or around this time had no hole and needed a ladder to be scooped out, or when they did add a hole a few years later, there was a tiny hole at the bottom that had to be poked out with a staff. By the year 1893, it was time to add a backboard, but the backboard was not invented for the players. It was invented to stop fans in the balcony from interfering with the ball. They were originally made out of chicken wire, so these weren't really effective for bank shots or rebounds. But that didn't stop players from trying to utilize the backboard, because on February 2nd in that same year, a box on the backboard was added, and this was used to assist players to aim towards the basket, but the chicken wire was starting to be an issue. So we fast forward to the start of the 20th century. The basket became a net, and in 1901, the net had a metal rim. But the net also had no bottom, so after every shot was made, someone had to come and poke the ball out. And man, what the heck is chicken wire still doing here? Thankfully, by the year 1904, wooden boards became mandatory. And finally, by the year 1906, the grand invention of cutting a hole at the bottom came into fashion, and we got the first tangible net with a solid backboard. In 1909, glass boards became more and more common, and this newfound strength slowly but surely led to something you may know as the dunk. By the year 1912, we finally got the iconic nylon net. So now when a shot is made, you can hear that crisp whooshing noise with that beautiful sound of a nothing but net basket. Now that's not why they were made. They weren't made to have an amazing noise. This design with the thick knots and the strong nylon just allowed the ball to fall directly in the center and not flop around after a score was made. As the sport of basketball became more and more popular, recreational and even professional sports leagues started to form. And these leagues wanted to create regulated dimensions for the backboard, backboard square, and rim. The NCAA and the NBA at the time thought it would be a great idea to have the same regulations. These regulations are a 6 feet wide and a 3.5 feet tall backboard. As for the square, it needs to be 24 inches wide and 18 inches tall. The line of the square needs to be 2 inches thick, and the square needs to be placed at the center above the rim. As for the rim needs to extend 6 inches from the backboard, and the front part of the rim must be 24 inches from the backboard, which leaves an 18-inch diameter for the ball to fall through. This was the norm for the main bulk of basketball history, but during the 1950s, it was not uncommon for the hoops to be 12 feet tall instead of 10, even in the NBA. In 1954, the Hawks and Lakers played a game with 12-foot rims, and you can thank this achievement to NBA legend George Mikan. He was so good at the game, the league wanted to make it more of a challenge for him. But only the opposite happened. The shorter players had an even harder time scoring, and Mikan had no problem scoring on 12 feet. So the hoop returned to its 10 feet standard. Beyond that point, the hoop stayed relatively the same, but a lot of power dunkers kept breaking the hoops with their amazing dunks. So around the 80s, hydraulic systems were implemented into the hoop, so if they do crash, the hoop would come down slowly. This was a nice idea until a man named Shaquille O'Neal came to town. In 1993, Shaq was busting these hydraulic hoops, so the NBA had to weld the hoops from the base to be even stronger. And now the hoops are almost indestructible, but every now and then we get some power dunkers to damage these hoops. For example, DeAndre Jordan was able to bend the rim, and Dwight Howard was able to knock the shot clock off of its balance. But beyond that, it is getting harder and harder to break a modern NBA hoop. Maybe Zion Williamson might have the Hulk-like strength to force the next evolution in hoop strength, but until then, this has been the evolution and history of the basketball hoop.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I'm seeing mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, it is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
Back here at Chatard, tonight's game brought to you in part by Hoosier Basketball Magazine. Now in its 53rd year, you can order today by going to HoosierBasketball-magazine.com or give them a call at 317-925-8200. Follow the top players in high school and college basketball thanks to Kip Wester and Hoosier Basketball Magazine for their support of IndianaSRN. All right, second half. We saw Brebeuf play extremely well. Macaluso had 14. On the other side, Bishop Chatard got 16 from Ethan Roseman, including those 2 3-pointers at the end. So we're only at a 3-point ball game. What do you expect in the second half?
Well, I hope that Coach Roseman can get his boys and the boys get themselves to have a little bit better post-interior defense. They got to make it a lot harder. Macaluso's just been able to impose his will on this Trojan defense, and a decent amount of it is his availability has become so apparent, around the rim in an easy fashion. So certainly the Trojans got to hone in on that, cut that down. Other than that, I think that's very minor adjustments. I think both teams have shot well from the line, done a good job of drawing some fouls. I think turnovers have been a little bit higher than what Brebeuf would like to see them. Neither team has hit you much with transition. The outside shooting kind of got going a little bit late with Ethan Roseman hitting back-to-back threes for Chatard. But other than that, hadn't been a lot of outside shooting. A lot of patience and poise that you would expect here. And so we'll see what the second half brings us with a one-possession game.
Yeah, and you look at Roseman and Davidson scoring 25 of their 27, so they need some others to get into the act here in the second half, as you see Macaluso giving it outside to Warren and receives it on the block. Good defense down there low by Stifler. Macaluso again. Stifler. Macaluso turns, and a foul call on Stifler. That's going to be his third.
Yeah, and for the most part, done a good job. Those are types of fouls that you can live with. He's trying to body him up, man him up deep in the post, and doing his job.
Yeah, but Stifler now with 3 fouls, and they'll switch it off now. Drew Knapp will guard him. Here's a 3 the other way, good.
Well, it looked like, was that Haywood, I think it was?
Yeah.
That's his first points of the night and the first 3 of the night as well. He's their leading scorer at 14, so just getting on the board first. That'll be big for this Brebeuf team as they need somebody to come alongside Merrick's help, who led the way there in the first half.
Yeah, Haywood, as you mentioned, getting his first points, so scoreless in the first half. Foul called on Haywood right there. So he picks up not only his first basket, but his first foul. By the way, that three-pointer again, the first, is Roseman off the glass. He hasn't missed much tonight.
And that one was a tough shot, kind of off balance, trying to create in his own. Going with the transition here, looks like Freeman on the finish there. But yeah, last possession with Ethan, just one that's kind of a little bit more ill-advised. Again, get this back here. And this is actually the largest lead of either team tonight with 8 points.
Freeman now with 4 after that nice basket at the other end. Roseman trying to find some room, gives it off to Lewis. Lewis, by the way, has not scored tonight either. That Brebeuf defense starting to pick up a little bit as well, switching on the other side you just saw moments ago. Lewis averaging 5 a game. Here's a 3 on the way, good, and they needed that one.
Well, and a great read by Sam. Obviously got the ball screen. The defender went under, and players are taught that. When they're coached well, player goes under and you're a shooter, hand down, man down. He goes under the screen, you kind of pull back to run him back through that screen. So great job there by Sam in knocking his first points of the game, and a much-needed point for the Trojans.
Full timeout, 5-point lead for Brebeuf.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back here at Bishop Chatard High School, Brebeuf leading it by 5, and I spoke too soon. We might still be on, 35-30. Brebeuf with a quarter. Mentioned Roseman leading the way, 16 points for Bishop Chatard. Macaluso with 14 points.
Power there.
Wow. How do you lose?
We're still live. We're on.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Whistle on the play, and the foul will be against number 4, that's Stifler, and that means he has 4.
That's tough on Coach Roseman. Now, the nice thing is that he's got good depth, so he can bring in 3 or 4 different guys. But from that angle, this certainly makes it tougher.
Each team with 2 fouls as the try basket good by Reese Butcher. Well, they got to get Roseman going again. He had 16 at the end of the first half. So far, I don't even think he's even attempted a shot here in the third quarter. Knapp for 3. Oh, couldn't get it to go.
And ball was down and out.
Warren the rebound. Brebeuf trying to extend the lead. They lead it by 7. Shot missed. We'll head the other way. Trojans on the run at the other end, and the layup missed by McAllister. Davidson, his shot blocked.
Well, certainly a tough possession there. You got it in transition. Not only missed the open one, but you also missed the putback.
And Reese Butcher, the offensive foul. Now, I'm going to ask you, and I've asked the others that I've worked with before, why is it now the game has changed so much where you see a player, he's going to go down and he's going to go through whoever it is to get that layup? Why not pull up jumper?
Yeah, well, and a lot of that's just discipline and trying to finish at the rim. But, and that's why, over the last 5 or 6 years, how the Euro step has become so big, especially if the defender establishes himself early enough, you'll see most guys hit him with the Euro step and finish on the opposite hand. But yeah, and a lot of times, in today's game, you don't see a lot of players that are willing to sacrifice their body to take the charge and establish themselves. And then on the flip side for the officials, it's obviously the toughest part of the game to call, and that's the block charge.
Yeah. I think we could save everybody a lot of time and trouble if you just see the defender pull up, bank it off the glass, whatever the case may be. Do a 12, 13-foot jump shot.
Absolutely.
And then when I fix all the world's problems,
right.
Coach, I'll let you know about that too.
Absolutely. Please dial me up.
9 turnovers. Here's Macaluso in the corner for 3.
I'll tell you, the big fella's been doing it all night long from the inside, and now he's taken his talents beyond the arc. So great stroke there and hitting the outside game.
There is another potential turnover here. Let's wait and see, and it will be. That's number 10 now by Chatard. Macaluso might say, let's put all of our games on IndianaSRN because every time we do, he plays well.
He's filling it up tonight.
Well, Bishop Chatard has been held to just 3 points. That was the Sam Lewis 3-pointer just a couple of moments ago, and that has been it. But again, the turnovers now up to 10 in this one as we play in the second half.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Like some people starting these conspiracy theories.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Oh, come on, Ben. Hang around and
Yeah.
have fun with us. Oh, okay.
Returning to the Braves lineup, number 12, Cam Freeman. Checking in for Bishop Chatard, 23, Aiden Artega.
In the ball game now for Bishop Chatard. As we play here in the third quarter. 7-point lead now for Brebeuf. Entry pass, and that will be a turnover intended for Brooks. It goes out of bounds. Just the third turnover for the Braves.
Well, that's one way for Chatard to get more possessions, but they got to get in a position where they're getting successive stops. Got to look to be able to do that and convert on some of those offensively, but it's just been too many times that they've given up as you kind of get an unnecessary foul here. You want to be in a position where you're just containing the guy. He's not in scoring threat, not even with the face in the basket. Really don't need to belly him up. He's still got a dribble left. So, that's just a senseless foul there. But nonetheless, we'll have Chatard maintaining possession here, see if they can chip back into this lead that is now 7 points.
Guy back in the ball game as well for Bishop Chatard. Here's Davidson. Been quiet in the third, missed that one. And a fight for the rebound, and looks like we may get a foul on Brebeuf.
I think it was Butcher, I believe. Yeah, that was.
Reese Butcher. Should be number 2 on Butcher.
And this is where, Chatard had put Brebeuf, in the one-on-one. Now Brebeuf's going to be putting Chatard probably in the one-on-one possibly a little earlier. Might get another foul here. Yeah.
That was a quick whistle there against Davidson, who had received the pass.
Well, on the next one, they'll be shooting the rest of the way, where Chatard only has 3 fouls.
Cam Freeman picked up number 3. Here is Sam Sherman back in the lineup, 2 points coming in the first half. And the entry pass on the inbound stolen away by Brooks.
Got another foul.
That's going to be 11 turnovers unofficially.
Well, and that's the thing, you don't want to double your trouble in terms of if you're Chatard, you get a stop at one end and then you come up empty-handed on the other. And that's one thing if you come up empty-handed with a missed shot, but when you have, a possession where you don't even get a shot off by a turnover, and it was one that was unforced, those types of situations really hurt you as the game progresses.
So here's Freeman looking for the high screen. And a turnover again.
Get it on the other side, too. Been a little bit more, and the first half was a little bit like that, too. Probably a little bit more on the Brebeuf side than Chatard. But here in the third, it's been the same for both, and kind of uncharacteristically turning the ball over a bit more than they normally do.
Double pump on the shot there by Roseman, and at the buzzer, that's going to do it. We head to the fourth. Brebeuf with a 7-point lead.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Fourth quarter, 7-point lead just underway. It'll be Brebeuf basketball. Roseman in the lane, can't get the touch on the shot. Offensive rebound for Bishop Chatard. Here's Roseman in the corner, can't get it to go. He had all his points in the first half of play. Nice pass to Roseman, layup good.
Yeah, great find there in getting uncontested, but great court vision there. I'll tell you, Brebeuf's done a really good job here in the second half, and even late in the second quarter as well. He's getting a little bit more stingy on defensive side, making it much harder for the Trojans to find the open looks that they've been wanting.
Haywood will go to the line for two. I think they might have gotten Davidson on this one.
He's trying to plea his case that I didn't touch him, but nonetheless, we'll have Haywood hit the line, shooting two, which I believe is his first free throws of the night.
Yeah. By the way, Davidson with 3 fouls. He, along with Stifler, who has 4, the only players in foul trouble for Chatard. Freeman has 3, and Butcher has 3 on the other side. Second free throw is good. Haywood held scoreless in the first half. 7-point lead. Here's McAllister. Bounce pass underneath and missing the easy shot as Bishop Chatard back the other way, picks up the foul, and that's going to put Haywood at the line again. Sam Feeney, by the way, in the ball game now for Chatard. He's the one that missed that shot at the other end. And there's a missed free throw.
Misses this one, shooting 73% on the year. Hit his last 2, missed the front end of this one. Let's see what we get here in the second shot.
Macaluso still with the 17 points, leading the way here tonight. All these numbers, by the way, are unofficial. Roseman down on the baseline. McAllister and a block, and there's no shot. They'll get Macaluso on the foul. So we are now in the bonus both ways.
Should be, yeah. Look, they haven't even put the foul up on the board yet here either, but it is a 1-and-1, as both teams are at this point. But really good call there. Wasn't established. Good attempt that we had by Macaluso, but a good pass to the short corner and attack here by McAllister, and at the line shooting the bonus.
You see that student section just across the way. They have been out in force even in the girls' game earlier tonight.
I tell you too, Troy, I'd love to. Oh, you're going to get a foul here, I would imagine, on Warren. Are they calling on the other way? Looks like. Oh, wow.
They're going to say Colin Guy instead of Warren. Nope, they're going to say number 5
they
instead.
Are changing it. because he was like, wait a second, I got chucked to the floor.
So it will be worn, yes.
But no, what I was about to say is I love the formats of the boys and girls doubleheader. I love that, and even more so, I love to see the support that the student body comes out even for that girls game that you typically don't see in a boys JV game.
Yeah.
But I think it's a neat format for both of them to play together. I guess the bank's open after 5 o'clock on Fridays. Colin just shakes his head and said, I'll take it. But Chatard's got to get something going. They got to get some offensive continuity going, get some rhythm, and try to even get a few points here in transition. That Chatard's done a really good job. Might have a violation here in trying to get some of the transition game going as well.
I think they're going to get McAllister instead.
That was a foul.
Yeah. So Guy hit the first one with the bank, and the second one he missed, and then the rebounding foul on McAllister, and we'll walk to the other end, and here's Macaluso.
He'll be trying to go for his 18th and 19th point. See the results of these.
Boy, this has not been a pretty fourth quarter, has it?
Yeah, tough to miss the front end of the 1-1. Here getting a little bit of transition.
Davidson got it to Guy, and then Guy threw it away. That is unofficially number 12 now for Bishop Chatard.
Yeah, kind of tough one. You would have liked to seen him take that shot, but if you aren't going to take it, you got to obviously turn and look and read the defense before you're looking at making that pass there, because he was clearly jumping the passing lane.
Each team in the bonus here in the fourth. Boy, I tell you what, something's happened weird. That was Freeman intended for Brooks. Brooks went one way, the pass went the other.
Yeah, been very turnover prone for both these teams here in the fourth quarter. Might have been something in the water that they drank at the end of the third, maybe.
Well, I don't think it's, well, even if we're a full moon, we can't see it because it's cloudy again. So it can't be that, I guess. Here's Davidson.
Yeah, and that's what he does best. Couldn't get it to finish, but good, strong attack.
Yeah, McAllister, the kick out. Roseman for three, and they needed that one.
He's got 21 now, 7 above his average. So Collins got to be careful there. Obviously, they turned it over, but he's got to be careful he doesn't get that backcourt type foul. You just want to contain, not scoring position. You want to kind of give him a cushion, but just contain him. Guard your yard.
By the way, Cam Freeman turned the ball over, and he comes out of the lineup.
Well, and after Brebeuf taking the largest lead of the game, then we got an unforced turnover here, too.
How about that dunk by Haywood? And then they get him for a technical.
It's probably a taunting piece. And actually, Brooks needs to be careful, too, because he could get one as well. We get a timeout, I'm hoping, because everybody's out on the floor.
Yeah. So they do give the foul, again, the technical foul on Evan Haywood after the dunk.
Which high school, the technical foul counts as a personal foul as well.
Yeah.
So was that his third on fouls?
Yeah, it must have been, yeah.
Looked like, yeah, it was a timeout called. There was never anything really signaled, but didn't know if something else was going on out of our picture or the screen to be able to see. Yeah, and you know that we've been told with Roseman when he fell, and it looked kind of odd. I don't know that his kind of ankle buckled or what it was, because he was unguarded. He's dribbled down the floor and just kind of stumbled and went to the ground. That's what led to the steal by Haywood and the fast break dunk there. But then Roseman came out of our picture, so couldn't see. But it had been brought to our attention that he got up a little gingerly. But it looks like he's not back. They only got.
Yeah, he went over here.
Yeah, he's not into the game.
And it looks like Semler is in for him.
Which could be a big blow, because not only a ball handler, but court leader, but then their biggest scorer, second leading scorer. But tonight clearly has been that guy in terms of the leading scorer of the game from either team.
Yeah, so now Davidson's going to have to pick up the scoring load.
That, and there's got to be somebody else. Davidson haven't been quite the scorer that he's been throughout the season here tonight, and some nights are that way. But the supporting cast, you're only going to be as good as what the supporting cast or your depth of your team gives. Obviously knocks down the first one. He's been really good from the line tonight. Got there a decent amount. Don't know the exact numbers, but he's like 7 for 8.
He is now, as he missed that one, he is 6 of 8.
6 of 8, yeah. So, but they're steadily chipping back. It's a 2-possession game, plenty of time left, and they retain possession here. So just important to get stops and to convert on some of those ones that you do stop.
So after the technical on Haywood, back to a 6-point lead here in the fourth quarter. Roseman is out. We're not sure what the injury is or whether he'll be back or not, but right now Semler's in the ball game.
You know, Chatard does a good job, as we've seen throughout the game, of good spacing. The thing that I'd like to see more of is more off-the-ball movement. There hadn't been much ball screening either. Good attack here. Leads to a quick, fast break.
Butcher at the other end gets fouled by McAllister and will go to the line for 2.
I think that's his 4th, is it not, Troy?
Butcher, take that back.
For McAllister.
McAllister.
I thought he had 3 in the 4th, or third, or first half on that.
So McAllister, it'll be Butcher at the line. Butcher getting his first free throw of the night. As you see Roseman back in, so that's good news for Bishop Chatard. Second one on the way, missed it.
You're going to have a violation. I think it's on White, too. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think they got Scott Semler. Semler may have gotten in there a little too quick.
Yeah, and you'll see that sometime. You usually don't see it with the guys that are outside the three-point arc, but he got it on that one.
Well, it didn't matter, as Butcher missed 2 of them. Here's Davidson, three-pointer in and out, and another whistle. We've got a lot of stoppages of play here.
They're both going to be in the double bonus with about 5 minutes to go. So might be a slow finish here, Troy.
9 fouls each way. By the way, McAllister picked up another one. And so McAllister is out and Stifler is back in, but Stifler has 4. And another missed free throw. Quinn Warren. Things have gotten ugly in the fourth.
Yeah, we talked about too. Brebeuf has struggled this year from the line, and they've showed that here certainly in the second half more than the first.
Semler got trapped. Here's Davidson, gets the screen from Feeney, who stays in here for Bishop Chatard. I mentioned that Roseman back in.
A really good help there by Merrick on the penetration. Kind of played the switch, and you get another one. So again, we got double bonus.
Foul be called on Brooks, his second.
Troy might come down to which team shoots better down the stretch at this point, the way that the foul rate is going.
Yeah, it was building up big time, and boy, but nobody hit a free throw.
Yeah, it's 4 missed free throws in a row with these combined teams. Somebody's got to want to show the possibilities of wanting to score.
Second free throw. Got it. And a rather sarcastic cheer from the crowd. Press put on a little bit here by Bishop Chatard.
And the first type of any three-quarter court pressure that we've seen. Brebeuf has been the one that has had much more ball presence and gap presence. And Chatard looking to try to step that up here now with a little bit of run and jumping.
Shot from the left wing by Haywood is no good. Tipped and saved from going out of bounds by Feeney. Feeney thought he got pushed. He wanted a foul called. Davidson drives and misses. And Macaluso comes away with it and gets fouled, I believe, by Feeney.
Well, and these are ones that you got to get. Good move by Davidson getting downhill, but you get to the rim like that, and for the most part being a little uncontested, you got to be able to knock those down. Those are just possessions that you can't get back. High percentage shot, good attack, but the young man's just got to be able to knock that down. And again, we talked about this earlier. You come up empty-handed on one end, and whether it's one of two things, either you're turning the ball over right away after missing, or you're getting a foul on the opposite end of the floor, putting them back on the line.
Well, another miss.
Five of the last 6 free throws missed by these teams.
We have seen 8 missed free throws alone in the fourth quarter, combined both teams. Macaluso back in for another and does hit the second.
He's got, unofficially, we got him down for 18. See, when you got a wide gap right here, too, this is where you got to not be looking to so much pass when the guy's giving you space. Here we're attacking. It's got to be a blocking foul. But, yeah, when you got these wide gaps, you got to get downhill and make the next line of defense guard you. There's just too many opportunities there to break the defense down that I think Chatard is not taking advantage of. Again, we're back at the line. See what we can get done here with Stifler shooting 2.
Still, even though he got the benefit of the block, I would still like to see him pull up jumper.
Yeah. Well, especially at times when you got your defense reeling backwards.
Exactly.
You got him on his heels. You stop and pull up. We saw that earlier with Roseman twice in the first half.
By the end of the year, I'm going to be counting how many pull-up jumpers here's another one. How many jumpers I see and how many 3-second calls. I've only got 4 of those.
Well, we're going to start stat lining that.
Another missed free throw. Brebeuf basketball. We have now seen 10 missed free throws by the combined of both teams here in the fourth quarter. Feeney picks up another foul.
Well, and again, a silly one at that. The guy's not in shooting position. You know that they're in the double bonus. You're just giving them opportunities. It's different if you're trying to jump the passing lane, trying to defend a pass. But to be defending the ball, there's just no purpose in trying to foul. This isn't like you have 3 or 4 team fouls. So you're just giving them automatic opportunities.
Drew Knapp will be back in. Knapp has not scored tonight.
Still plenty of time. 2-possession game, 3 minutes to go.
By the way, Brebeuf, from what I can tell, if my score sheet is correct, the second one missed. They've had 1 basket in the quarter. Here's
your pull-up
jumper. Oh, man.
We got to write that one down.
Yes.
That was the 2:53 mark.
Semler's the player of the game.
You're already calling him.
Boy, but how about another missed free throw?
Yeah, but good decision. I like that pull-up there. Defense was laying back. Just pull up.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Brebeuf able to get the timeout. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Tam Sweet and Savory Cafe. New spot for breakfast or lunch, open Wednesday through Sunday. Try their classic breakfast or their sweet baked goods. They're located in Lawrence. Try the Sloppy Joes as a lunch. They're located 6427 Oaklandon Road. Each team in double bonus. That is Freeman. Still a two-possession game here in the fourth quarter. Foul call on Davidson. I believe that's number 4 on Davidson. So here's Butcher at the line. 6 of 11 in the fourth quarter. That is Brebeuf from the free throw line. Six of 12, if my Wyoming math is correct. That's 50%.
There we go.
Pretty good, Coach, huh?
Math.
I could be a math teacher, maybe?
Math 101 with Troy Darengowski.
Second free throw by Butcher.
He might even meet you at the SRN studios for those tutoring sessions.
Boy, but somehow Brebeuf gets it back.
Yeah, another missed free throw, but one if you're Chatard again. That's at least the third offensive rebound that Brebeuf has got off of a missed free throw here tonight.
I was going to say 6 of 13 now in the fourth quarter alone.
Yeah, this is where, and I was just going to say, this is where you don't want to foul, but where Chatard needing to try to look at getting some trapping in these situations and kind of show them a different front as we got a timeout by the Braves.
Brebeuf leads it by 6.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back once again here at Chatard. Going to come down the stretch as you see Brebeuf getting the timeout. By the way, unofficially, Brebeuf 11 of 20 from the free throw line. And let me check that. Chatard is 7 of 15 from the free throw line.
Well, and Brebeuf's right on point. They've shot 55% from the line all year, and that's exactly what they are tonight. So those are types of things you're going to need, in the close of the season, but certainly in postseason, you got to be able to shoot it a bit better from the line. So I'm sure that Coach Glunt will get his boys to be able to do that. He's got a backcourt, almost a steal here by Chatard.
This might be a lot of time, though, for Brebeuf to hold the basketball, but the good news is you're in double bonus. So.
You are. They have to come get you, and they have to foul. So at this point, you're kind of just playing the passing game movement and forcing them to foul you. You'll take anything but a layup. Other than that, you're just passing. They're running 3 guys at you. You got to just continue to have this ball move and try to milk as much as the clock as you can. You get a foul here by Semler. This game, as much as it's a 2-possession, can easily get to the point where it becomes probably a double of this and being at 12 points when you're chasing, trying to just foul.
Now, this, needless to say, has been an adventure here in the fourth quarter, and it continues to be an adventure. That's 11 of 21 unofficially. I want to say unofficially because, that way nobody can hold my feet to the fire.
Yeah.
Freeman again.
And again, another miss.
Wow.
11 of 23. It's been really tough.
That is the understatement, I believe, and you still can win this game. Roseman had 16 in the first half, 5 here in the fourth.
And you don't have to have a 3 here. Really tough, nice move, but great defensive play there by Brooks to get the block from behind.
Foul will go against Stifler, I believe, or they get Macaluso?
Let's see. Yeah, Macaluso.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Looks unplugged again.
Is somebody unplugging us down there?
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Still a 6-point lead, now 7-point lead. Brebeuf with under a minute remaining. Of course, Knapp back in. They'll try to get an extra guard in there to try to get a steal here. And that'll be a foul. That's an easy call at midcourt on Semler. Four on Semler. Here's Haywood again. Nothing has been even close to automatic for Brebeuf from the free throw line. You know, if my numbers are correct, Coach, they've only had one field goal, and that was Haywood's
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
his
that's
dunk.
Yeah.
Both teams have really struggled to find their way offensively. I will say Brebeuf certainly has had much more opportunities. They've also been much more stingy on the
How about Roseman?
defensive side.
Yeah,
deep one
Roseman
at
hit
that.
the big time 3. It'll be a full timeout. And right now a 6-point lead, so still just 2 possessions. But Brebeuf will get it back, and I'm sure they'll run plenty of clock if they possibly can. Industrial Sales Associates has been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Eastern Tennessee for years. Good luck to all teams during this winter sports season. For more information, give them a call at 317-546-1900. And again, after the game, the Piper Logistics Player of the Game. Right now, I think we kind of know who at least the front runner may be. But we'll wait and see. You never know. It could be a good finish here for Bishop Chatard, and they're ranked number 8 in 3A. And again, the Braves are ranked 11th in 3A, and they're both in the same conference, both in the same sectional, so they might see each other again. Tell you one thing for sure, the fans here aren't going to get out of here anytime quick. Place is packed here tonight to the very end. Got a foul on the pass. If they got Davidson, he's done for the night.
Well, it looks like he knows it too. He just turned, and as much as we've talked about, he's attacked the rim on his penetration tonight. He's also taken a straight line to the bench there too, as he knew that was his 5th as well.
That's a lot of free throws. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19 free throws. Shot now here with these two by Brebeuf in the fourth quarter alone.
Yeah. Chatard has put themselves, they just hadn't been able to find their way. You got to credit Brebeuf's half-court defense for that. That's kind of taken Chatard out of their comfort zone and not being able to find anything offensively. And with that, they put themselves that they couldn't chip away, and then they have just been forced to foul over these last 2.5 minutes.
We've been saying missed a lot, and he missed them both. So now last seconds here for Chatard. 3 on the way is no good. As Nat gets it back, tries it again from the corner, gets this one.
Well, that's his first basket of the night, but don't look now, it's a one-possession game.
Yeah. That's a huge basket after the miss.
It's like they put another second back on the clock. It was at 6, now it's 7. Take every second of those you can get if you're Chatard.
Yeah.
Look for an immediate foul. Can't get beat long anything here, and the way that Brebeuf has been shooting, even though they got 2, you might like your chances, but you need at least one of these should seal it, because you obviously would think that you're going to get immediate foul. You might even try to, if you can get away with it, go a second or 2 in and see if you can either get a steal or create a turnover with your presence, because still 5 seconds is still enough time to work with, because it's naturally going to have to be a 3. So we'll see what might be able to take place here.
By the way, Ethan Roseman, 24 points tonight. Davidson fouled out. He had 10 unofficially. On the other side, Macaluso unofficially with 18 points.
So choosing not to guard the inbounds and double up one of them.
Quick foul.
And I don't think Cameron Freeman has shot any. I don't know that he's shot any free throws here tonight.
Yeah, he's got 2.
Has he had 2?
Hit them both.
Okay. Well, maybe they got the guy here on the line that they want.
All I know is I see a lot of circles on my fourth quarter score sheet, and they're empty.
He's a 70% free throw shooter on the season, so one should do it.
There you go.
You got that most important one there on the front end. So 2-possession game at this point with 6 seconds. You have to get a very quick score and have to get a steal on the inbounds.
Well, you got free throws made when they needed them to. Quinn Warren back in, and Freeman will sit down.
How's it make you feel there? You ice the game probably, and then you get taken out.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. That'll be Feeney on the inbound. And the last opportunity right there is missed, and the rebound by Haywood, and that is going to do it. Brebeuf now 10-5 on the season. They win it by a final of 57-52. And it's also now time to name the Piper Logistics Player of the Game. And I think we might agree that Merrick Macaluso, who had that big first half, had 14 points, finished with 18 on the night. They shot so many free throws in the fourth quarter. He only shot 3 of them, but he really played well tonight.
No, he did, and hit the glass pretty well also. So yeah, without a doubt, really established himself in the first half, set the tone. And then I think, there was just a lot of consistencies with both teams that couldn't get things going in the second half, which made it a little tougher for both teams' offensive productions. But Merrick Macaluso, our player of the game here tonight.
All right, that'll do it. Again, your final score, it was Brebeuf 57 and Bishop Chatard 52. Thanks for being with us. It's been high school basketball in IndianaSRN.